Hello and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan and I will be your Dungeon Master tonight as we continue our adventures in the Dark Kingdoms. With me, as always, we have Sam. Hello and welcome to the Adventure Archive. My name is Ryan and I will be your Dungeon Master. Matt as Victor of the Calder, the Human Death Cleric. Jess as Dariana Bloodright, the Elfmark Serophage Sorcerer. Jason as Cutter the Faceless, the Daracool Rogue Duelist. Andy as Beatum Dobblebreen, the Gnome Divination Wizard, and Eric as Sylvester, the Dhampir Warlock with his imp familiar Annie. The Dark Kingdoms takes place in the Midgard setting, which is published by Kobold Press, so you will notice some differences in some of the races, classes, features, and whatnot. And please be aware, this is an evil campaign containing evil aligned characters in a dark fantasy setting, and as such may not be suitable for some audiences. Graphic descriptions of gore, murder, mutilation, and torture are fairly common. So, this is our first DK stream since going affiliate, so thank you all so much for anyone that showed up at the last Myths of Midgard stream. For the people that were here before, we have made some adjustments to our channel points and stuff like that. We felt that the False Life was a little bit underpowered, so we have adjusted that to cast False Life at second level. So now it's not 1d4 plus 4. Second level False Life adds 5 temporary HP to every level above, so it is now 1d4 plus 9. I think that's the only real change we had. And I also have, let me start it, a community goal that we are going to initiate for everybody this evening. As soon as I figure out where that is. Manager, rewards. Starting the challenge. So we have a community goal for all of you guys, and it is called, I don't remember what I called it, Player Swap One Shot. What we're basically going to do is all of the players are going to roll a d6 in any order that I determine, and we are going to do a one-shot where all of the players have to play as a different character. Not Freaky Friday where you know you're a different character, but say, for example, if Sam gets Cutter, she has to wear Cutter's filter and be Cutter for a one-shot. So it'll be quite interesting to see how the players interpret each other
I'm
when
so
they do
excited.
that. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. So I think it's a standard, like you can do 2,000 a day or something like that. Oh,
I
and
can't spend my stuff on anything, so I'm just, because I'm in everything, so I'm just gonna max.
Gotcha.
Thanks. So we have NBA K9 and Andy the Math Magician have already contributed. Thank you.
I have infinite channel points because I'm me. And what other housekeeping do we have to start the stream? Anybody have anything? Oh, I'm sorry. This very big, important piece right in the middle of our stream. This beautiful, fantastic, wonderful art. Can someone throw that sketch risk command in there, please? From our very good friend of the channel, Sketchrisk, who has done just the most beautiful, like, character art. I'm completely blown away by this. So you will see henceforth rotating full body shots and headshots of all the characters. As we go through, so you kind of get a little bit better immersion. You know, you can feel what these characters really look like. So that's wonderful, and everyone is so beautiful, and they're so.
This is a gorgeous party, and Sketchrisk did a great job capturing that.
Yes, and thank you so much for that, Sketchrisk. We really appreciate it. Someone threw that command in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I see it. Gotcha. Wow, 9K raised already for the player swap one shot. We have 91K more to go.
How many to finish it?
100,000.
Okay, yeah, it's not gonna.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't have a ton of points to start, so it'll be a little bit of time, so you guys can prepare to be each other. Not like you haven't played together for like 14 months. This campaign is older than Andy's baby.
That is true.
So, I think that's about it. All right, well, good stream, everybody. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Let's get into some D&D then. Last time when we were on the Dark Kingdoms, all of you, gosh, where did we start? Going into you had just come back from your visions, and some difficult choices that you had to make as part of those visions. Am I on the right session? Yep. So then you guys cruised through the rest of this shadow forest before you came across a valley. Still kind of in the darkness, but slightly more lit than the forest was. As you began to traverse through this valley, aside from it suddenly becoming twice as wide, out of nowhere for no reason, like the map being color weird, you encountered two creatures. I will tell you now, they were called Annihilum. They were these two kind of like dust devil things that were speaking to you as you fought them, begging for their lives, asking to be set free, things like that. They swirled you around and tossed you like a tornado before you promptly destroyed them. And as you continue through the valley, full of dust blowing all over you, gusts of wind flying through the air, black tears of dust and condensation flowing down from the rocks, Beatum having another vision of being coated and eaten by bugs, you eventually came to where the wind was coming out that was blasting you backwards, and it was this cave. And as you go through the cave, you found these sigils that you had never seen before, bits and pieces, but there was a little bit primordial, a little bit arcane, a little bit infernal. You couldn't really see or understand really what they were, but they were all candlelit and very they gave you this like empty feeling when you try to investigate them too much. And then as you got deeper, you heard this voice tell you basically, if you're coming, then come, like I've known you've been here the entire time. You entered in that area and you saw what you realized was the Master of Visions, which was this giant kind of spectral snake creature. And with him were two gibbering mathers and a giant eye painted on the ground. You engaged in battle with him because he told you basically, if you want the information you seek, you must earn it. You, throughout that battle, had some various, things happen. The eye, forced some saves. The gibbering mouthers spit blinding light at things, but eventually you were able to defeat the Master of Visions and the gibbering mouthers, and he gave you the information you sought. And that was that what you are actually seeking, since you didn't even know what it was, is Archduke Arvgost, the brother of the dead king of Krakovar, and brother-in-law to the exiled queen Arzula, who is in Dornig. Apparently, a priest, a Derrical priest of Ardesian, had a vision that if he got some of the imperial blood of Krakovar, he could be blessed and bless all ghouls by doing some type of dark ritual. He then told you where to find this Archduke, and that was in House Gavanto in Karriesen, which is just on the border into Dornig from Eastern Morgau. After that happened, you all took your leave through the cave, and as you walked out of that cave, you actually found yourself back in the Margrave. And that is where we will pick off. Also, I believe this is the first session after level 10. Everyone is double digits now. There we go. Quick update too for our wonderful, beautiful, amazing mod, Andy the Math Magician. What cards does everybody have? Let's see. So Andy, if anyone that was here for, so the overlay is not on, Jason, for the screen.
Oh, you sent me a new one?
No, the stream elements overlay.
Let me check. The alert box is on.
No. So like the numbers in the bottom corner of the characters.
Maybe
like
you gave me another one that I didn't remember because I don't see anything.
1 second,
Did you
everybody.
send me another link or something?
Yep. So if you go to your Discord, there's a stream elements.
All right, let me add it really quick.
Yep. So just add it as a browser. It's 1920 by 1080. Give us 1 second, folks. Best mid ever. So what we're going to do, for those that were here for myths, we will have on screen under each character and myself running tallies of blue cards, red cards, blesses, banes, all those kind of things that characters can hold on to. So you will be able to see them, and Andy, the best mod ever, will be updating those as we get them, and letting us know in the Roll20 chat when or if we do get any of those. That way we can see it, you guys can see it. Beautiful. Oh, it was there for a second.
It should be on.
No.
No?
There it is.
No, I
Now
see
it's
it.
on.
It's there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yep, perfect. Right,
It went
so
away.
it's back now. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so basically, banes are what I can hold on to, and then it's blesses, and lesser restorations, and the blue cards and red cards. So, what we have right now, Andy, is that Jason Cutter has a blue card, and
Zersa
Beatum,
just gave us blessings for everybody.
blessings for
One
everybody.
for everybody. Thank you, Sarsa.
Thank you.
So Cutter has a blue card, and Victor. So Jason has a blue card. Matt, Andy, and everybody else but Sylvester has a red card.
Great.
And I will update a little chat box that I'll pop up every now and then in everyone's journal, so you can see what all of your cards are. So we will get that updated as we go. Plus the blesses for everyone. And I can handle that on as we do it. So why don't we get back into the game? So as you all step out of this cave and come back into the Margrave, what are you doing?
I guess we're probably trying to recover mentally from how terrible that whole vision quest was. Beatum is still scratching his skin where the bugs were biting all over him. Looking around to Victor, actually.
Beatum, you are looking a little better. What did you see in these visions?
Many things. Mind your own business, Victor. We should turn our mind to how are we going to get to our destination.
I have never heard of this place. Dornig? How far?
Does anyone have a map?
I figure it's like a day for each of us.
It's a few weeks journey. We've got a ways ahead of us.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed.
Yeah, I think everybody but Victor, maybe Dariana, would definitely know that Dornig is just the country literally like directly west of Morgau. Like, and you would pretty much, I mean, most of you would know where Carriessen is, since it is so close to the border and kind of right, a little bit up and west of Bratislava. So you guys would know that it's relatively close.
Perhaps we seek assistance from my brothers, get some horses for party. Yes.
Maybe a pony. My pony.
No, you've lost your pony privileges. If you can't take care of the pony, you don't get one, Beeson.
Eden is like really gutted.
You said when you got the pony that you were going to take care of it. Now look what happened.
He does not say anything, just scratches himself. Obviously
Cordelia's
pissed.
just pissed we have to fucking travel again. She kicks, if there's like a tree branch or something to kick, she's just like, have we stopped for more than a day anyway?
Yeah.
I don't think so, yeah.
I just want, oh my god.
I think our best bet's to make it. I think our best bet is to hit the northern road to Bratislaw and then cut across from there.
Also, thank you, Jordan, for all the bits and the blesses and the beans. Okay, so we're going to walk again.
So we can find horses. Or
Victor, you mentioned something about your brothers. Are they nearby?
I do not know, Cordelia. I see you. You do not seem very happy to be walking again, and you are petite, but too big for me to carry. Yes.
I mean, that's more a question to you.
No.
It's like piggyback ride. You mentioned your brothers as if there was some nearby we could ask for horses.
No.
No, you misunderstand, Cordelia. His brothers are horses.
Oh, the brothers are the whole. Okay, so you
Yes.
see why I would be confused by
It's
that.
right? It's a weird Calder tradition where, no offense, Victor, but apparently there's a special bond between.
So you are going to ask the horses if we have their permission to use them.
Why would I take offense, Sylvester? Horses are the highest form of animal on planet. Yes. Should not be cruel to horses.
Sure.
Make life easy. Especially if pony-sized, yes.
Can you bring them to us?
I do not think I can bring two of them to us, but perhaps we come across wild horses. I could try to tame them.
Let's just go tame 6 horses.
Tame some wild horses, guys.
Rolling Stones, wild horses, cues in background.
So what time is it?
We'll say it's roughly. Let's call it morning. Jason, could you drag the map down just a little bit so Zobek is right above the the music bio bar?
Where is Zobek?
Zobek is like bottom.
Down?
Yeah, so drag that.
This is where the map ends. You can.
Yeah,
see
so
the
drag the
pointer.
map down so we see more up.
That's as far as I can go.
Oh yeah, that's perfect where it was. Oh nope, back. So bring the map this way. So Zobek goes southward. Not up, down. Keep going. A little bit more. More, yep. I want to see just Carrie Essen at the top, but it's hidden behind the Dark Kingdom thing, so just go a little bit lower.
Roll those carbon data.
Do you want me to zoom out?
Yeah, baby.
Nope, go down just a little bit more. Perfect. Thank you so much. So, for those that are we are currently, as a group, I think about right here. That red circle that I just popped up in the bottom right of the map. And the group is trying to get to this right here, Carrie Essen. So, you guys are going to
walk and camp, it sounds like.
All right. So as we head out onto the Great Northern Road, tonight's session is going to be a little bit different for all of you guys watching out there. We've done this once before, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I think you guys will get a kick out of this too. What we're going to do, players, is have a player-driven narrative fast travel. So you are all assigned a city or a fortress, or basically like a population center-ish place, or a stretch of road on the path from where you're currently at in the Black Hills and the Margrave to Carrie Essen. And each of you are going to give a narrative from your perspective, or sometimes from third-person perspective, of what happens to the group while you are traveling to your destination over the course of a couple of weeks. So each player is going to be assigned a section and a city. If you guys need information about the area that you're going into, let me know, and I will give you the information that you need about that. If you have, if you want to do something, or say take another character with you to do something, that other character can hop into the game with you and communicate with you. If you want a character to do something that's not just like they travel with me and they do this or that, something above and beyond, you can ask that character what they would do in that situation. But also, this player-driven narrative is also going to be a skill challenge. So at one point in your narrative, pretty much at like the peak of the narrative, kind of the most important moment, I want a skill check. It's a DC 15, 18 if you want to give the next person advantage. And I'm not really going to put a limit on what kind of roll you can do, as long as it makes sense. But if two people end up doing dex, that's totally fine. I'm not going to limit you based on what other people have done. So your narrative can be whatever it is. So like if you get to a point in your narrative where you are fleeing from 1,000 guards and you want to do athletics to run or something, and someone had already done athletics, that's totally fine. And then we'll just roll. And then the rest of your narrative, it shouldn't be the very last thing that happens. The rest of the narrative is kind of based on whether you succeed or fail at that important thing that you were trying to get done during your narrative. And then the party moves on from there. So don't die. But you will just kind of, move on from that, and the rest of that narrative will be kind of less good for you as you go through it. Does that make sense to everybody?
Can we bless or bane these? Or
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Do I have banes right now? Yes,
You do.
Thank you so much, chat, for all the banes. I really appreciate that.
But if you bane it, then we can't bless it. That sucks.
Oh no, you better talk fast and bless it first.
No, we have to wait until after. You get first dibs on it.
Well, then chat better not give me 6 banes.
So, I mean, if we say, can we declare ahead of time? If we say, I'm going to use my bless on mine. I'm going to say it right now.
Listen, I called shotgun. You have to see the car before you call shotgun. That's the rule.
Okay, I'm going to write myself a big fucking note.
Listen, listen. This is a character-driven game where me as a DM is just going to sit back for 3 hours and not do a whole lot. So
I never believed you less than I do in this
I
moment.
will not use my banes during the course of your skill checks, but expect them to drop like a hammer once we get out of this and get back.
I was going to say, that's like so specific, I'm now more concerned.
Yeah.
So at level 10, Victor got another cantrip. Mm-hmm. So if it was guidance, is that something I can stack on top of my friends here tonight?
If you are not present in the situation, you cannot. And
because of touch.
It's touch. And also it's the character-driven thing. And if you are not the character talking, then you're not really making decisions. So if they are like, shit, I need some guidance, and there's a situation in their narrative that makes sense for you to be there and to guide them, sure. But if they're just doing the role in their narrative, especially if they're separated from you then there's no way your character would be there in order to do that.
No blessing. Understood.
No guidance.
Spasiba.
Yeah. So, but it looks like everyone's got 3 blessings. Again, thank you so much, chat.
You can't see it.
Thank you for the blessings.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ryan is a terrible DM who kills our ponies all the time. We need all the blessings we need.
I am a great DM that kills your ponies all the time. Ooh. And I did not kill your pony, the Shadow Forest.
Oh, potato.
Particularly harsh on my brothers.
He also killed 2 of our party members, but you're most upset about the pony.
Yeah, the world just flows from me, Like, I don't control it. It just happens.
You are but an arbiter of the narrative.
I am but an arbiter of the narrative. So, let me just pull up some stuff here real quick, and we will get started on this.
Like Twitch, it says even the DM gets to be evil. It's his brand.
Isn't that always?
I mean, this kind of
is
is
every
an evil. It is an evil campaign.
He should be extra evil then. Extra.
No, but since the players are evil, shouldn't you be good?
Yes.
Listen, it's all.
I
it's,
like extra evil with a comma. So it's
I was gonna say it's
extra.
all relative. Evil is just relative. What I think is evil, most people think is super evil. So like
Few
for
bad
me, it's
choices.
just good. So I'm already where I'm at.
Watch our Dark Kingdoms catch up for more on that.
Oh,
Several
or,
hours worth.
yeah, or catch me Friday while I do a DM chat about running the evil campaign. Anyway, so as we get into this, you head out of the Margrave onto the Great Northern Road from Zobek up towards Bratislor. Sylvester, what happens to the party? Oh, if you guys want me to switch up the music, you want some more suspense, you need a little bit of action, you let me know. I will be your DJ this evening. And I'm going to sit back.
Your call, I guess. So we're out of the Margrave and we're on the North Road, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So we've got a ways to go. I think we kind of looked at everybody. Well, I say we go north towards Bratislava. Yes? No? You all can weigh in.
That is where it is.
All right. So we're going to start walking north. I'd like to use this time while we're walking, because we've got a couple days hike ahead of us, to figure out if we have any idea what the fuck we're doing. We have to go, apparently we're after the Archduke, because his Imperial blood holds the key. Are we going to kill him? Kidnap him? Any thoughts, ideas on what actually we're trying to do?
We
If
have a
he's
long
bloody,
way to figure that out.
we can make some deductions. If his blood is the key for our enemies, we must possess that weapon ourselves, so that the enemy cannot use the weapon against us.
I would love to possess his blood.
Oh, perfect for this. So, all right. So once again, no ideas, no plans. Here we go. Fantastic. Fantastic. How I ended up with you lot, I haven't the slightest fucking idea.
We are very good at improvising, Sylvester.
Yes.
Or Hamish, whatever your name is.
I don't know. Today's Sylvester. Tomorrow, who knows?
Very much like this.
Berdelia's still like mid-temp, like just throwing a fit still, just that she's still fucking walking. Like, it's like, oh, we have to go find a guy, and now we're walking again. Like, so she's not gonna be a participant in any of this.
Right. So you're pouting in the back.
Yes.
All right, fair enough.
And kick, just like anything loose, just like kick it.
Big shock. Big shock here.
So we keep heading north. We'll probably have to camp a couple times because this is a long journey to Bratislava. So probably off-road, set up a watch for one of the nights. Nothing really happens. Wake up the next morning. We come to a creek, maybe 10 feet wide. Appears to be a couple feet deep. We spend a good half hour debating this creek before we realize it's just a creek and we cross it.
The reality is this is real Dungeons and Dragons here.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just a creek. We cross it and start making our way. We're noticing that because this is we're on the Great Northern Road, so there is traffic. Not a lot, but merchants going maybe one direction or travelers or the other. Past a couple people throughout the day, but not a lot. And then make camp again the second night. And during that time, eat some food. And you see Sylvester's taking out pen and paper and kind of scribbling some signs, basically making writing on paper and shoving them in his pack. I'm just kind of writing. Paper, write another one, backpack. And nothing eventful happens that night, and we keep continuing north. A couple days of that type of travel. And then we start noticing as we travel that there's some inns scattered out about a day's journey apart. And so I would suggest, I think tonight, perhaps, we treat ourselves and stay at an inn. Catch some good rest, good meal, good drink. Yes?
What
yes.
a treat.
I very much enjoy drinking with you.
My feet are tired. Will someone pick me up? Victor!
And then so you see Victor kind of leans over, and he's on the side where there's not the giant pauldron. He kind of just puts Beatum's little tushy like right up on his shoulder, and just kind of holds his arm in, and then you can like kind of hold around that collar.
Perfect. I asked Beatum, would you like some spurs?
Obviously annoyed to be compared to a little jockey.
I was not making any allusion to your height. So anyways, we'll keep moving north, but through the day, you notice me starting to stick signs about every mile or two. I'm taking one of those pieces of paper out of my pack and sticking it to a tree.
So we notice you do this?
Yeah, I'm not being too discreet.
And what do they say? Sorry,
They
I'm not
says-
to interrupt. I don't know if I can interrupt.
No, please jump in anytime.
Okay, what do they say? If you're just like doing this without trying to hide, Cordelia's gonna like look and see if it's something else she can.
So it's about every 2 miles or so, or a mile. I'm just kind of.
And what are you
Whenever
in
I
the
get the
lead,
feeling.
or are you kind of like, what's the marching order? Would you be doing this kind of front and center, or just?
I think our order probably changes throughout the day as we're
Okay.
kind of just walking and talking. So, but I'm not trying to be discreet about it at all. So you would notice it. And it's a big warning kind of post, and it just says, "Warning: aggressive wolves in area, possibly werewolves. Avoid traveling at night."
Werewolves, oh no.
Well, that's
Those are the
just-
signs I'm putting up.
I can't help but wonder why you're doing this.
Oh, I'm just really fucking bored. And people, when they're nervous or scared, do stupid things. So let's make them nervous and scared. That's all. Just a silly game.
No argument. Oh, okay. Oh, I wish you'd let the rest of us play.
You will. So keep walking. And then we reach an end. Kind of. I figure we're maybe a day out of Valak from where the last inn, or one of the inns we reach. Late in the day, not quite sunset, but getting close. And what say you all? We stay here for the evening?
Sure thing.
Fine.
Would love to take boots off, yes. Put Beatum down.
We wouldn't want to put Beatum down. But anyway, so all right, so we go into the inn. Kind of an older inn, run down, a little dilapidated, but not terrible. We walk in and there's a tavern when you first walk in. It's like a tavern with an inn attached. No real patrons in there. There's a man behind the bar. And I'm gonna walk up to the bar and ask the gentleman for a room. So, hello, sir, we're looking for a room for the night. The man responds back, okay, well, yeah, we're pretty vacant, so... And I forget our cost. How much would a room in an area like this cost? Ryan, you're muted.
Time to scream fuck.
God damn it. So last time I did that pre-stream, my wife literally texted me and says, "What just happened?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's for the clips." For an area like this, for just one room, 2 rooms,
Probably 2, 3 rooms.
3 rooms.
Writing this down, 3 rooms.
Probably total. I mean, it's a nice inn. The Great Northern Road is well done. So why doesn't it cost about 3 gold a room?
So 9 GP. All right. So I drop him down like 11. Oh, sorry, I dropped these. I toss out 11. I say, also, we'd like a round of drinks, and motion to a table kind of in the corner. And sorry, I forget I'm narrating this, so I keep waiting for you to say what the hell he says back to me. So he says, okay, I'll send him over in just a moment. We go take our table, and then I give Annie a piece of paper too, and I kind of tell her to fly about a mile further north on the road and post another one of the signs. And then we kind of sit down and relax, have some drink, some food. Is there anything anybody wanted to chat about, in particular, bothering them? Oh, Victor wants a horse. So, or Beatum wants a pony.
5 horses would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll ask the barkeep if he knows of has any horses to spare. Pardon me, do you happen to have any horses we could buy for lease or rent? But he shakes his head. No, I'm sorry, we have no horses here. I can't believe you made it this far up this road without a horse. I shrug, say fine, go back to my table. A little bit later, Annie shows back up. And then not too long after that, a couple people walk in. It looks like a wealthy merchant. Or I shouldn't say wealthy, but a merchant type. And he's got like 3 sellsword types with him, swords for hire. Kind of the type that if a merchant's traveling on the road would hire to watch his caravan, make sure he doesn't get robbed. And at this point, I wait for one of them to go up to the bar, and I go up with them and to order up us another round. And while I'm up there, I mention to the bartender, so I've noticed a bunch of signs alluding to wolves or potentially werewolves in the area. You know anything about this? Bartender looks at me like I'm crazy. No, Balderdash, I've never heard of any wolves or werewolves around here or anything. And then the gentleman next to me mentions the sword, who's with the merchant, mentions that I've seen signs alluding to the fact that there are wolves and we should shelter at night. We were planning on pressing through, but thought it best to stop in here for the evening. And the bartender's just like, no, that's crazy. There's never been anything like that. I haven't heard anything. So I just shrug and go back to my to the table where everybody's sitting. I'm gonna lean over to Beatum, and I've taken off my ring. I'm gonna hand it to Beatum and say, would you like to have a little fun, see?
It depends. What do you call fun?
Well, I call lots of things fun. Most things fun. But this particular is kind of like maybe a show? Dinner and a show. Think of it as dinner and a show.
I could be convinced. What do you have in mind?
So, you take this ring, hold on to it. It's a ring of Spellstorm. And it happens to have a polymorph in it. And I mention the full moon, hit the bartender, and turn him into a wolf. What's
interesting?
Yes? No?
Ooh, yes, I think this could be quite fun.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Yeah, and Brian, quick question. My understanding of a Ring of Spellstoring is that he doesn't have to do any verbal or somatic components, because I had to do that originally when I cast it into the ring, right? It's just holding it.
It does require attunement, though. But I believe attunement only takes a short rest to become attuned to something.
Okay.
So I assume you guys just like sitting here having a drink and whatnot.
Yeah.
We could call that a short rest for him to kind of get attuned to the ring, and he would know that.
Okay. Perfect. So we do that. We hang out, shoot the shit. I maybe even start some conversation with the gentleman at the other table that had come in. And they're just merchants traveling down from heading back to Zobek with their wares. Sun starts to set. I kind of wait for the sun to go fully down, and then I'm going to go to the restroom. And while I'm in the restroom, I want to ready a spell, Dominate Beast. And as soon as I walk out of the bathroom, the sun is set, it's nighttime. I'm going to point out the windows, get everybody to look that way, and say, oh my gosh, look, a full moon.
Beedum
Am I
unleashes
a
the
full
spell.
moon?
And as everybody looks to the window, Beedum hits the bartender with the polymorph into a wolf. And I let go of my Dominate Beast, and I'm having the wolf immediately attack the nearest of the, I guess, henchmen that are with the merchant. And the wolf, they don't even see it coming. They're looking out the window. Wolf runs out, jumps on one, bites into him, starts, reeling his head back and forth, growling. And immediately the other two pull their swords, and all hell breaks loose as they just demolish this wolf. They're fairly capable men with a sword, and within 30 seconds, there's a bloody heap on the ground. The polymorph, once he hits 0 and beyond, would wear off, and he's a human and just a bloody wreck on the floor. And I get up and I run over, and I'm like, holy shit, it's a fucking werewolf. I knew there was something weird. And here's where my skill check's gonna come in. So I start saying immediately to them, I'm like, look, there's other people here. He's not alone. They have to be werewolves as well. You need to go through and fucking kill them all. You're the ones with the swords. We have to do this. So I'm trying to convince them basically to go find out whoever else lives here and kill him.
Wow. Yeah. So why don't you roll me a persuasion check? Are you going for standard 15? Or are you going to go for 18 to try to give advantage?
Consensus, what do y'all want?
Well, what's your bonfire?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay. What would Sylvester do? How confident is he that this is gonna work?
Oh, I'm so fucking confident.
Yeah, I
All
feel
right,
like
so I'm going 18.
Sylvester goes big or goes home, yes?
Also, you do have some blesses to use.
Oh yeah, can I bless that?
Chase your
You can. I mean, you can wait till you see what it is.
Okay, so I'm going for the 18. It better work because I don't have a plan if I fail. Did it roll? I thought I hit it.
Holy shit.
Booyah!
Oh!
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Not only do you succeed, you critically succeed.
Yeah, son.
Which, I mean, it's not possible in ability checks to critically succeed. But, I'm sorry, sir, do you have a blue card right now?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh, no, I don't.
You don't. So, for those that are unawares, on ability checks and saving throws that aren't death saves or initiative, if you roll a natural 20, again, you cannot critically succeed, you get a blue card. Even if you roll a natural 1, you get a red card. The cards we use are the Nordgames Luck deck, which I think now is called like Fates and Fortunes. And basically the card is either good or bad for you. So your blue card, sir, you get a plus 1d6 after making a skill or attack roll.
Nice. All right.
And he could use that on something you've banned.
Yeah, you can use cards on things that I've banned.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so you these guys are like, just like, oh my God, you're fucking right. You're fucking right. We got to do this. So what do they do?
Right. So immediately, like, as we're having this conversation, I'm like, there has to be more people here. And if he's one, they're one, this has to be handled. Otherwise, what the hell are we going to do? And just as I'm saying that, a woman comes running out of the kitchen, sees the man on the floor, and just screams and runs to go to his side. But before she even gets there, one of them just takes his sword and swats him down. I immediately just start backing up to our table and pick up my drink and have a sip as I watch these guys kind of run through the inn looking for other people to kill, other potential werewolves in their eye. And they only find 2 other people. It's a total of 4, but they just immediately, as soon as they find them, cut them down. Just regular kind of townsfolk, innkeeper people, so their defenses weren't too great. And then I go behind the counter to where I saw the barkeep put my money when I paid for our rooms. And I'm going to dig that out and offer the merchant I called to him too. I said, I don't believe we should have to pay for our rooms. The service here is terrible. Here's your coin back. So I offer him his stack of coins back, and I'm gonna grab a bottle from behind the bar. Best thing I can find to take back over to our table. And then tell the merchant too, I'm like, well, I guess we can help ourselves, but we may want to burn the bodies as well. But I lean over to Cutter, I'm like, should we get you maybe one of the bodies, sneak them off or something to eat, or are you okay? Or
Fresh bodies are always nice. I just missed the hunt.
yeah, I'm sorry. I thought of it more of like a show, like dinner and a show. We just watch things happen and relax. I know you like the hunt. My apologies. Next time I'll make sure to include you more in that.
Cutter doesn't want to be fed, he wants to hunt.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I'm gonna.
So when Cutter says that he likes to hunt, I'm assuming, are we still sitting at the table, Eric?
Yeah, unless you wanted to get up and go help.
All shit broke loose. And so the 2 sellswords are back, and the rich guy.
Yeah, well, they went running off into the house or into the inn to search for any others that might be around.
So only the merchant is with us at this point?
Yeah.
So as you're saying, the service here is terrible, Victor makes eye contact with you and kind of gives like a nod at the merchant, and you've seen this before where Victor likes to prey on the weak.
Huh?
He's kind of waiting for your permission, I guess.
Well, so I'm going to, because I forget what it's called. I can drop voices into people's heads. Awaken mind. So I can speak to you telepathically. You can't communicate back, but I can say something to you. And I say, well, I'd hate to keep you from your fun.
So at that point, Victor kind of puts just the palm of his hand on Cutter's shoulder. He steps up in the other direction, and then he just very smoothly walks across the bar like he's going to get one of those bottles of liquor, and then he just puts this full necrotic bitch slap on that merchant and just is going to lay every ounce of pain of Chernobog's blessing into this guy and just destroy him with necrotic energy. And since the guards aren't in there, and then he kind of looks at Cutter and he grabs him by the scruff of the neck, and if there's a door the way away from the sellswords, he's gonna start dragging them so that they can do their business.
Okay, so Ryan, now, because did you want us to go combat on this now?
It's up to you. Do you feel like it would go? I'm not muted. You are the narrator, so you should be initiating all of the actions. The other players can kind of respond to what you're doing, but shouldn't really be initiating action. So if this isn't part of your narrative, then you can decide what happens at this point. You succeeded on your check, so everything's pretty much going to go swimmingly for you. So if you want this to you can just say how it ends and
yeah, let's retcon that. Sorry, Victor.
No worries.
I don't want to kill that guy.
Sounds perfect.
I was more interested in just having them kill people.
You were very inspirational.
Yeah, so we'll retcon that back to that didn't actually happen. And then, so for the night, I'm going to try and drag some of the bodies outside, start a fire to kind of burn them, acting like, oh, we should burn these bodies, because that's what you do with werewolves. I have no idea, really, but... but during that time, I'm going to kind of sneak one of them off to the side if Cutter wanted to partake and get some nourishment. And then for the night, I'd say we lock the door, board up the door, put a big sign on the front that says closed, and let the merchant and his people know what we're doing, and we're going to board this place up and go to sleep for the night. Or, probably set watch. I know Cutter doesn't necessarily sleep. And did you, by the way, Cutter, did you want to eat on that guy, or?
Yeah.
Um,
I will feed.
Cool. And then...
Do we own a bar now? Is this just ours?
Pardon?
Do we own this bar now? Is it ours?
Yeah, so any ideas? I mean, I was just going to board up the door and drink and hang out and grab a room.
Oh, you spoiled me, Sylvester. My goodness, this is so wonderful.
And that's where the campaign went off the rails.
Off the rails, here.
Cordelia gets the very, very back room that's soundproofed.
Yeah, thank God there's not like a karaoke machine in this place.
Not yet.
Yet.
We're going to need to do some major renovations to this place.
Right?
The next posters say Bard wanted.
Bard wanted, exactly. On the door.
We just become evil innkeepers from here on out.
Just evil innkeepers, yeah. Just randomly poison people, give people diarrhea, things like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a Dick's Last Resort, but...
Yeah.
But with diarrhea.
But not quite as bad.
Hey, listen, sometimes dysentery is worse than death, all right?
That's on our posters.
Yeah.
Nice. So, we kind of Cordelia parties, maybe dance on the tables.
Oh, yeah.
I'm having some drinks.
The whole time
Whatever
she was
everybody
just
wants to do.
cackling the whole time. She's probably drunk by then, just cackling the whole time this is happening.
I would like to get out early in the morning, though, before
Boo.
the others.
Okay.
So next morning we wake up, we've had our fun, maybe touch hungover, and start heading out. We can see the merchant and his people are kind of getting ready. They're still inside, so I go to the merchant too, and I take him aside, and I'm going to let you decide what to do with this. And I don't know exactly how long things like this take or what the actual effect is, but one of your men was bit. So do with that what you will. And safe travels. And then I'm going to go ahead and walk out. And I have Annie in one of their saddlebags shove a little note into the merchant's. Fine. I had Annie look for the nicest horse, which would probably be the merchant. And kind of deep into his saddlebag, shove a note that just says, there were no werewolves, just a nice innkeeper and his family, and then signed XOXO. And then start heading north on the road again. Touch hungover. The walking's a little rougher. Our pace slowed slightly. We reach Valak, and I believe at Valak we have to pay a toll. Is that correct, to get into the Morgau?
No, if you want to go off the road to Valak, Valak is a Ghost Knight commandery.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you could skip right past that. It's basically just a command post.
We'll skip right past that and make our way to Bratislav.
Fantastic. I mean, good job, Sylvester.
MVP.
Yeah. All right. So as the group, let me update the map here a little bit. We are freehand. So you left and you went up the road past Valak. Ooh, I'm kind of sticking to this pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. and you make it to Bratislor. So, Cordelia Belmont, what happens when the party gets to Bratislor?
So Cordelia has spent the rest of this trip. She was really, complaining literally the whole time, but now she's kind of inspired by this new opportunity that we just left. But, there's a lot of work to be done to own an inn, but she's excited about the idea. So that gets her through the rest of the trip here. So in Bratislor, because we have been here before, right?
Yeah. For those that don't know, Bratislor is the capital of the Greater Duchy of Morgau, and the seat of power for King Lucan, the vampire king of this kingdom. And yeah, you pass through. I mean, if you've lived here before, there's a chance you've been here before. But during this campaign, you pass through Bratislor during your first mission from Rojan.
Right. So in addition to King Lucan being his castle, being situated here, it's also where a good number of the vampire members of nobility live. And amongst those members of vampire nobility is Cordelia's mother. So you guys don't know any of this part. In Cordelia's vision, her parents were a part of it. And she is still processing this vision that she went through. And while she doesn't necessarily hold a particular affection for her parents, there was a part of this vision that is compelling her just to maybe check in. So that being said, I will lead the group. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Sorry, Ryan distracted me by saying a mean joke to me while I was talking, and I didn't know if it was something important I had to pay attention to.
Nah, ignore me.
I would if I had any ability to. Cordelia is going to lead the group to her parents' house, which is a Brand Manor. And since we just spent the whole day traveling, we're very tired, we're very gross. Cordelia will tell the group, I'm able to provide lodging for this evening. We can stay at my family's estate. However, you are all just a bit conspicuous, so you're going to have to perhaps stay with the help. You'll be eating with the help. You'll just be staying with them, out of sight, out of mind. Preferably no one will see you. But you're welcome to stay for free, and eat, sleep, be merry at the Belmont estate. Or don't if you want to pay for lodging in a far less comfortable bed. If there are no objections.
I have plenty of coin. If your family is anything like you, then, I'll take my chances elsewhere.
Well, suit yourself, I suppose. So as we continue to the estate, we get into the foyer, and from a grand staircase is a woman who could literally only be Cordelia's mother. She looks not that much older than her because vampire, but she is just a spitting image. The same look, the same vibe, the same just snooty diva energy. Her mother is just her. So she walks down the stairs, and just the same time, oh, my sweet darling Cordelia, and Cordelia looks up oh, Mummy, it's so good to see you. And it's very that forced, fancy people, and they do the cheek kiss, mwah, mwah. And it is I don't think anybody in this group has ever thought about where Cordelia came from, But now that you are here, you could not imagine it being any other way. There is a man at the top of the stairs who, very handsome man, but not quite as consumed by confidence as Cordelia's mother is. And he is, if you could tell from a distance, he is not a vampire, he's a human. So Cordelia greets her parents and notices that they are not dead and that a certain someone has not killed them. And she's more excited about the fact that this other person has not taken something else from her than actually seeing her parents. If you have any other questions, she gestures to like a servant person. She doesn't know their name or could ever care. And they will lead the rest of you, should you choose to accept this hospitality, off to stay somewhere else for the evening. Man, mine's just like not gonna be. I can't believe I had to follow Eric on this.
Does your estate have a stable?
I would assume so.
Beetham, would you like to go check out stable with me?
Yes, I'm sure horse shit would be more interesting than this.
And everybody you guys walk past, they like bow to you and call you sir. And just if you get to your room, it's just so clean and well made, and it's just pristine to that point where it is, you can't even enjoy it because it's just so fancy that you're just like, if I touch anything, I'm gonna ruin it. So I probably shouldn't. So there's definitely a stable. So Cordelia will chat with her mother more out of obligation than anything else. And her mother hints, because King Lucan has returned to his castle. And since her mother is a member of this nobility, there's kind of this talk amongst this particular demographic that there's kind of some political, not necessarily turmoil, but King Lucan is obviously, there's the information he gave us, there's the information we've learned, there's some political shenaniganery happening, but her mother is reluctant to really is that incorrect, Ryan?
No, I love the word shenaniganery. I'm gonna use it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's the actual term. That's what we call it here. So there is some political shenaniganery, but her mother, Cordelia's got a lot of siblings. She's her mom, but not oh mommy in any real way. She likes her dad a lot though. He's a cool guy. Cordelia's picking up on these hints that her mother might have some information that might be helpful to them, since now a chunk of their mission has become political in nature, so to speak. That Cordelia sees this as an opportunity for maybe I can get a little more information on some of this background stuff that normal folk might not be necessarily privy to. So her mother says that there is going to be a dinner party this evening with a number of other nobles who will be there. And that Cordelia is of course invited to attend. And she hopes so dearly that her daughter will grace this crowd with her presence. So that being said, Cordelia will ask Sylvester she'll go and be like, oh, so you're Dampier, so you know that these parties, I can't show up alone. You know what a travesty, a humiliating travesty it would be if I showed up to this alone.
No, I haven't the slightest idea what kind of a travesty that would be, but I'm always willing to go to a party.
Okay, so what I'm going to need, I'm going to have, his baby Beatum. Say hello, little guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to set it up so he can actually hear you all every night.
There he is.
Hi. Dude, I just got the best picture of him. I'll slap it into the Discord.
It's night time. Night, buddy.
So cute.
Dinner party. So, yes, it's just, so when you say that, you, like, that you're not familiar with these cultural expectations, because Cordelia kind of remembers that she recognized your family name, and I don't think anyone ever told her otherwise about that. So she's a little bit confused. Like, she thought that she would go to you and be like, you get it, right? And you'd be like, oh my god, I get it. But the fact that you, like, haven't, and she's like, a little bit, like, okay, so I'm going to have one of the butlers bring you a suit, and we'll just get you cleaned up, and you just have to just look pretty. Is that something you can do for me, Sylvester?
I believe that's within my abilities, yes.
Okay. So we're gonna get all dressed up. It's more of a black tie event, so it's not the gold gown from before. It's more of a sleek, tasteful black gown. And the dress Cordelia is wearing is like close to what her mom is wearing, just in that annoyingly similar, like it was almost like a Control-C, Control-V, like slightly change it. Like, oh, hey, I forgot to do my homework. Can I borrow yours? And then it's like, oh, yeah, but change some stuff so it's not obvious. And so we go to the party, and Cordelia would like to turn to Sylvester and be like, all right, so I need you to cause, I feel I'm going to regret this, not a distraction. Because I now want to know what you're capable of when it comes to distraction. I need you to be so charming that people just can't take their eyes off you.
Well, shall do my best. Is there anybody in particular who you'd like me to chat with?
I'm gonna say there is like an older woman who's like for sure a cougar. And I'm gonna just be like, so that is Countess Genevieve here at this party. If you could just perhaps go speak with her, that would be delightful.
I go speak with Genevieve.
So as he is just charming the hell out of this woman, and she is super into it, Cordelia's gonna turn or like kind of walk around to some other people and just try to like spread gossip. Like, oh my god, do you see that? Do you see the Countess talking to? What would her husband say? Oh my goodness. And just really kind of stir the pot a little bit. And because once fancy people start gossiping, that's when the secrets start flowing. So I would like to attempt to get this conversation moving in such a way where these drunk, rich, fancy people are gonna start saying, like, they want to one-up each other. Because so it's like, oh, I have this piece of dirt. Oh, did you hear this? Did you hear this? And I want to try to get some sort of political nugget that would be helpful to us as a party in our mission. By rolling something.
Unmuted. So this is what you would like to do, is convince this woman to give you some type of political
it's
intrigue?
Kind of like flittering around the party, and just like using Sylvester as like this like point of interest of like, oh, did you like, I just kind of kick it off and hope that gossip begets gossip.
So you're convincing an individual person, or just overhearing this kind of like increasing like gossip shitstorm that you've initiated?
Yes, and then just kind of slinking around. So I don't know if it's like stealth. Like I'm like trying to maneuver my way around.
What do you want to do?
I want information, and you can. I have now gotten a bunch of people to start gossiping, and now I am just flittering around the room, and
just kind of peeking in. So roll me a perception check.
No, that's not what I wanted. I wanted like stealth, to be like chill about it.
Oh, so you just want to be like unnoticed as you do this?
Yeah. Because like they're not gonna talk if they know that like I might not necessarily. Or persuasion? Like, I want to persuade them to do it?
I'll give you stealth. I'll let you have
Okay.
stealth. And don't forget, you get advantage on this roll because
Yay.
Sylvester called out the 18.
So I'm for sure gonna go for the 18. And then I'm gonna use a bless. Thank you to everybody who gave me some bless. So that'll, no matter what, bump it to an 18. Yeah, so that's a 19. Sylvester, thank you for advantage. Everybody else, thank you for bless. So, Cordelia, like, so now Sylvester's starting to get a lot of attention. I don't know how Sylvester would feel about getting a lot of attention.
I'm great. I'm eating it up. And because I know, like, my job to do this type of thing. So I'm getting everybody around. And I know how the higher ups are because I mingle. And I'm telling a lot of weird racist shit about humans and gnomes and like, oh, you know how humans, they always smell like old cabbage and iron. And gnomes, what the hell's up with gnomes? They're always out of perspective. It's like you see somebody far away and they're really small and they get up, they get big. They never get big. They're just always out of perspective.
And there's one drunk guy who's like, I've always said that. And he's like slapping you. Like, I've always said that about gnomes. You get it.
In the stable, Beatum just gets a little sniffle and
So we are just trying to instill so much gossip mongering in this group. And Cordelia is just completely unnoticed as she is now, as these groups kind of break off, like overhearing, and she hears some relevant political information, which I don't know what that is, but...
Oh, so you're looking to me for relevant political information.
You have to do something this session.
I'm sipping on this delicious coffee. I am
You got like
laughing
solitaire on your phone,
at
like,
you,
yep, all right.
Snake. Oh, wait, who's next? Someone got a card? Is that? Oh, okay. All right. All right. So while Sylvester is being a gigolo, and you are unnoticed.
I am whoring out Sylvester.
Hard. Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
I mean,
this cougar's gonna eat him
it's a
up.
specialty.
You overhear snippets of conversation about some political intrigue going on in not just capital but across the country, because a lot of these people are from various areas. Part of it you've heard before. There is mumblings every now and then of Darrakul, and some potential unrest in the Alliance from some of the higher ups, but you know, for the most part, you kind of ignore that and keep moving. That's literally your mission to find out right now, so it doesn't intrigue you. But what you do hear at one point is a mention of Hanksburg and Rodium.
Interested.
And that since Lucan has been back, no one has really heard from Lord Rojan of Hanksburg.
Interesting.
And it has been a day or two since anyone has heard from Baron Urslav of Fandoran Keep.
Isn't he the guy who wrote the letter?
Is he the guy that wrote the letter?
Yes, he's
I'm
the
looking
guy
at
that wrote the
Andy's
letter.
screen and I realize Andy doesn't know that I'm looking at him.
I do that all the time. I'm like, Matt, you're right there. And like, clearly it's not.
Wait, so Baron Urslav, nobody has seen him?
No one's heard from him in the last couple of days.
Snitched on him and got him killed.
Whoopsie doodle.
And no one's heard from Lord Rojan for a little bit longer.
Okay. And nobody... So in a situation like that, if you just like don't hear, that's not normal for a lord of a city, whatever, to like just go.
You would.
I would
Cordelia
know.
can assume whatever she would from that information.
I think that is not normal. That if somebody goes, if there was like a coup or something, the next person moves in pretty quick. Okay.
Political intrigue.
So we enjoy the rest of the party. I think Sylvester's having the time of his life. We probably do a really cool like dance, like a waltz scene at some point. Like, I don't know if you've got that music. There's like a really good like dance scene
Oh, I got some real classy music
No.
for you here. Give me 1 second.
Flamenco. You gotta do that.
Yeah, flamenco. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's just like, oh man, it looks so good because I don't have to roll anything else. It looks really good. And it's like there's a part where it's like a very anime, like she like flips out and it's just like the anime, like the background changes to like colors. So there's like sparkles and stuff, and then the music stops. And then Cordelia probably has a room here because she lived here at some point. Oh, it stopped. That was it. And then whatever you guys want to do while you're here, you can do. It's a big old house.
Well, I think some people are in the stables, some people are in town. You and Sylvester are there, so if you want to kind of wrap the party, you absolutely can.
Dariana, did you stay?
Yeah, I think I stayed. But I made
You
sure
got a
to keep
bunch of.
Brian very hidden away from your
You can
family.
put him in a suit.
Courtney,
You guys show up at the party too, and it's like you and then Brian in a suit.
It's
in
just
our
like
room-
slowly like soaking through in areas, like
All the vampires licking their lips.
seriously.
Oh
it's
no!
Just, oh, it's from like what they do in the shadows when they bring that human to the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do our rooms have like private bathtubs?
I would say, I mean, yeah, sure, yeah. There's bathtubs.
So it's like a cutscene from like Victor, kind of checking out the horses, and he's kind of whispering, talking to them, and all of a sudden you see him, and he kind of looks like a Pretty Woman in the bathtub, and he's got all the bubble bath all around him. He's just sitting there, and he's kind of nodding. And he's like, oh, and he's thinking like, oh, I hope nobody sees me, but because he had
Yeah,
that
there's
hot
some
tub bath.
wine,
Yeah.
a magazine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dariana, you definitely have a lot of like ladies' maids waiting on you, probably more than you would want.
Perfect.
And this is Cordelia's home. And you all hope so dearly to forget.
And none of us are surprised at all. Not a one.
I'm not even there, and I know exactly what it's like.
You could just tell. Like,
I think Cutter, even from this distance, just feels like annoyed and uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
Where is Cutter? Where does he choose?
He's
I don't know.
outside tapping his foot to the music.
He's somewhere else.
Cutter's doing Cutter stuff. you know.
Yeah.
Just Cutter things.
Her stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just-
so that we get that really helpful information, and then we party.
Fantastic. Is this you ending your narrative?
I mean, I could keep going if you want.
No, that's fine.
I do.
So,
do you want me
so,
to bring my the Cordelia's mom back into the scene? Because I
No,
will.
fine.
I'll
We're
talk
good.
between the two of them.
The party ends. Sylvester chooses what he does with the cougar. I
slip her a note that just says,
Careful, werewolves.
they're werewolves. Yeah.
yeah, it just says, you're very lovely, but you're not my type because you're willing. XOXO.
Dang.
We're evil, right?
Oh my.
Sorry.
And that made her want you so much more.
Yes.
All right. So Sylvester, based on the last two, oh, you already have inspiration. Never mind. Yeah. We good.
Sylvester, I'm learning tonight how truly manipulative and evil you are. It's like
You didn't know that when he killed
but
Janelle and
it's-
Tracy?
It's on no. It's on like a different it's elevated now. He's leveling up. That
Or
initial
you
one
get-
was
or-
so surprising, and I'm just seeing it like advance.
Or it's just like some of the curtains are lifting and you're kind of getting a better look at
Oh, yeah.
Sylvester.
I was
Sure.
just like, oh, I need somebody to go to this party with me. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna invite Sylvester.
Yeah. Well, he was a Dampier, so that made sense. But yes, his
Yeah.
dark soul helped a lot.
I
So
mean, that went great.
party wraps, things happen. You all at some point get back together and decide to head back out onto the road. Are you guys good to continue, or would you like to take a quick break? It's up to you.
I guess we're halfway done, right?
Yeah, thereabouts. I think. Well, we've done
a third of the way.
2.
Third.
Yeah.
Oh, just 2. You're right.
Yeah. So while let's get through another one. Not get through. Let's get to another fantastic story. So as the party continues, Victor of the Calder.
Okay.
What exactly are you doing? I'm just marking the map. You can talk about the journey or
So-
whatever you'd like.
Yeah. So Cordy notices that Victor actually smells almost as good as he did the last time they were in whatever that town was where they had the hot tub. They get all cleaned up, and Victor the next morning has 5 brothers and 1 little brother, like all saddled up, like he's kind of buddies now with the stable hands. And like you didn't know that one of the slaves that worked in the stables was from the Ruthenian Plain, and so when he spoke to him in that kind of Kariv dialect, he had like a little bit of a connection. So these horses are like well groomed, like we're looking good and like making the Belmont name proud. Bonus, I think we're going to go a little faster on this road. Ryan, from Bratislor to the temple on horseback, what are we thinking?
I think Bratislor to the temple is about 4 days on foot, so probably about 2 days.
Okay.
I mean, I assume horses
like one overnight. So so we kind of make it almost to where that H is in Doresh. We noticed that the sun, unfortunately, like it's a little bit sunnier than it normally is in Doresh Morgau, and so Cutter already was in a bad way, I think, because he didn't really get a whole lot of sleep at the Belmont estate, and so he's kind of just bummed out and put down. I think we noticed we're on the edge of a wood that kind of feels like there's an undead vibe, I think, coming off of it. Is that true? The Walker's Wood is somewhere near us?
Yeah, Walker's Wood is controlled. I believe it is to like Whisper Gloom to the west of Temple of Abrastala.
Okay. So the first day kind of goes like as we would hope. Like we have just a nice ride. Victor's kind of oddly talking to his horse the whole time. I'm not sure. Are you guys putting posters up or doing any of that kind of stuff? No. Okay. And then Victor kind of uses that wanderer skill that he has from Midgard, and he picks out like the perfect place to kind of camp for the evening. But he's getting this weird death vibe off of the woods. And if it's okay, Andy, beat them. I've been near woods before, but this feels different. Feels almost like home. Where are we?
Beatum, isn't this where we were attacked by the tribe of cannibals? Cordelia, isn't this where we were attacked by the tribe of cannibals?
And in that moment, she has like that Dom flashback, like, yes, I believe so.
Cannibals? You mean like Cutter?
No, much worse than Cutter. Or
Well, hold
better?
on. Well, not that, but no. Well, hold on.
Do you think this seems like a very good place? I could find us nice dinner here this evening for 5 to 6 people.
Or you could find us a horde of zombies that will kill us.
Yes, well, I thought I was going to have to make perhaps a zombie pony for you, but we have these beautiful horses here from Belmont Estate. Lovely.
I've raised my pony from the dead.
Do you think this is a safe place to camp? Yes.
Beat him just like starts shaking his head. No.
Okay. So So at that point, like as they're kind of trying to find a place to set up, I'm pretty sure the Temple of Apostala, people make pilgrimages there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so
the Temple of Apostala is kind of the pilgrimage place for Red Sisters and worshippers of Morena currently in Morgavin Resh. There is a new cathedral to Morena being built, but as of right now, yes, if you pilgrimage, you usually pilgrimage to the Temple of Apostala.
Okay. And Eric, if it's okay with you, usually Annie kind of scouts out ahead for us a little bit. Is it okay if Annie scouts out for us a little bit?
That'd be fine. Yeah.
Okay. And so kind of like over the horizon, so basically they decide not to camp in this area that seems like a perfect place, but just something doesn't feel right about it. And Annie kind of notices like some campfires, and she notices a couple wagons, and then she notices like these stakes put into the ground, and there's white calves and a few white goats are kind of there, there. And then there's what appear to be like blood sister pilgrims, I guess. So like they're kind of younger, mostly female, and kind of wearing red garments. For us, like for normal travelers, this would probably not be a good thing, but for us, I think we kind of feel right at home. And so if it's okay, like Annie passes that info back to us. And so we continue on the road, and then I'm guessing, Cordelia, you noticed something weird about like one of the wagons?
It's broken?
No, like it has like a door that kind of folds down, maybe, like on the side.
Immediately. And I grab Beatum and like run over to it.
Cutter, what is she so excited about? I've never seen someone so excited.
She wants us to be in a fucking circus.
Are you kidding me? You got to be fucking kidding me. Beat him.
I wish I was.
So, Cordelia, are you able to kind of? I'm not actually sure about your relationship in real life with the Blood Sisters. So these are very minor people. Are you able to kind of ask them if we can pitch our camp near them?
I would imagine so. I have a little like insignia that declares me as an initiate, which they would recognize.
Okay, cool. So
I don't know how willing they would be to help me, but like they would know that I am at least like an intern for their order. Okay,
and so for us, I think we kind of get there. I'm guessing like most of the Blood Sisters, though, not all of them are Dhampir, right? Like a lot of them are just humans and they want power, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the pilgrims here are just worshippers. They're not necessarily Red Sisters, but Red Sisters can literally be any race across Morgau or the world.
Cool. So I would assume, I was going to ask you this question, Jess. Is this interesting to you? Like a big group of humans who are super interested in blood?
Like the Red Sisters.
Yeah. Like, would they recognize you?
No.
No. Okay.
Not unless they had like any like interesting items on them. Would I be?
And I don't know about this, but would they worship Brian? No, not at all. Okay, because they're totally into Morena, right? Okay. So I think we kind of get there and we're sitting around the campfire, and then we kind of hear stories about like these people have kind of waited most of their lives to kind of have this moment where they're going to meet this person named Laleshka of the Chalice. And when Victor hears the word chalice, he kind of looks at Sylvester and is like, this word chalice is similar to the cup Cordelia has.
Well, it's similar to cup, yes. Synonym. Definitely.
And Cordelia, would you be sitting around with us kind of talking to the pilgrims, or are they beneath you?
Oh, no, if they are ranked members of the Blood Sisters, they outrank me, so. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think I'm better than them, because they exist in this world, and therefore I'm better than them. But, like, logistically speaking, they outrank me.
Okay, so I kind of ask you, Cordelia.
Yes.
I'm totally not sure, but are you Cordelia of the Chalice?
No, I'm not really into labels, so I wouldn't so much say yes to that. I'm just sort of here to maybe get some new experiences, learn some new things. I'm just sort of interested. But that's really it.
Okay, and then he notices that a few of the Blood Sisters kind of head off, and I guess they flagellate themselves, right, Ryan? They kind of like with cuts and whips and stuff like that. And so he notices,
absolutely, yeah.
So he notices that like they kind of have like a few scars on their face and maybe like a few scars on their shoulders, and Victor is kind of interested in this because he kind of looks at the palms of his hands. And it's been a while, and Dariana has, he's made this blood oath to Dariana that she can use his blood for her armor. And so he's thinking like, maybe he needs to check out like what's going, like he's a little more interested in this temple that they've talked about going to. And so he kind of asks Cordelia, since she seems like the most knowledgeable, who is Aprostola? Temple of Aprostola, who is this? And do we know?
I don't have to roll in this, but Cordelia is gonna look at you and have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. So Cordelia, will we meet Laileshka of Chalice?
Oh, that bitch. I guess. If you want to. You're not missing anything if you don't. She sort of sucks.
It sounds like you like her almost as much as you like your mother. What has she done to you?
Well, hold on a minute. My mother is a delightful woman who I just don't happen to particularly care for. But Laileshka is a snooty little know-it-all who thinks she's so much better than everyone else just because she's in charge of the church and she gets to make accusations and judgments on others. And you know what? I won't have any of it, so I don't choose to associate with her.
Sometimes we have saying in Rothanian Plain, sometimes you hang the black dog's pelt on a person who is most like you.
Cordelia's gonna choose not to understand what you mean.
Okay. All right. So Victor kind of takes all this information in, and he's gonna he has in his bag, like he kind of pulls out of his bag, he has one of the skulls from the bar where those guys, so it's not the skull of the merchant because Eric, when he spoke to him in his head, Sylvester, when he spoke to him in his head, he's like, no, I have better plans for the merchant. And so he gets one of the skulls of the family that was kind of destroyed by the swordsman. And it's just clean. Like it looks like Cutter had a delicious meal. And this thing is just picked perfectly. And he creates like this little, kind of goes off just by a tree. And he takes like 3 symbols and he makes like the sign of the triangle. And then puts the skull right there, and he kind of just speaks to Chernobog a little bit. He's been a little bit shaken because of the vision that he had, and he's a little bit nervous because like they're in this area right now where he's seen Cordelia's family. He sees that Sylvester doesn't seem to need a family, and he had like this vision of possibly losing his father figure, Beatum. And so he kind of asks Chernobog just for some direction. You don't hear me though. He asked Chernobog for some direction of permission, I guess, to reach out. Like he knows that Morena has this kind of balance where like she's obsessed with lust and Victor views lust as weakness, but she's also obsessed with death. And Victor is highly interested in death. And like, I think like he kind of gets more of a message back that like you're not cheating on Chernobog if you just kind of have this interest in like what's going on at the Temple of Aprostola. And so Victor's kind of decided that he's going to go on a mission kind of to find a little more power. And so the next morning they wake up and they kind of follow the pilgrims. So even though they have horses, I'm assuming the pilgrims are more like they walk. So we kind of take our brothers, and I'm assuming somebody in the party is not happy about not being able to ride the horse. Well, travel. And so we travel with them, and then I think as we get closer to the temple, put this on here. Things kind of changed. So like we had the Walker's Wood was kind of passing by. It was kind of undead, and like it felt just like kind of a little creepy. And now as we get closer to this temple, on the road we see this beautiful building, and it's blood red bricks. And I think there's 3 of us. Have you ever seen it, Sylvester?
Seen what exactly?
The Temple of Apostala.
Because
you travel a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have looked at that though. That would have been like, oh, a giant ball of twine. I could give a shit.
And Dariana, have you been here before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I'd probably be a little interested.
Okay. So as we get closer, we notice that some of these pilgrims are actually like, they kind of lift up their robes a little bit, and their knees are even kind of bloody. And as they get down, they're really like self-flat, like hitting themselves with these whips and trying to get blood flowing and kind of show their worship of Morena. And there's like a blood altar kind of right there at the beginning. And one of them just takes one of those white calves and just sacrifices it right there, and then fills a bowl with blood. And then out of the temple comes a guard, but then you realize it's a skeleton, and there's 2 skeleton guards. And they come and they fill these bowls with blood, and they kind of hold them up, and then they walk them into the temple. And then Leleshka, I'm assuming, has to allow people into the temple, Ryan?
Well, she would be in the temple, and there would be, lower ranked people at the doors and whatnot. Okay. But it is like a steep set of stairs up with them at the doors. Yeah.
Do we need to like ask? I don't remember, like, because that was so long ago. Did we have to ask to get in, or were we invited in?
So last time the party went through, you were a different character who has since died. And you were sent on a mission from Hanksburg with Blood Knights, or with Ghost Knights, and they were expected at Apostala. But yeah, you generally, most people just do their worship at altars outside. But if you actually want to get in, you would just kind of ask permission from the Red Sisters that are at the gate.
So that's kind of where we are right now. And then, so Victor, as he sees like the pilgrims kind of do their thing, he takes one of the goats and he does exactly what he just observed. And he sacrifices the goat, and he kind of fills the bowl of blood up, hands it to one of the skeletons. And he's created skeletons before, so this is nothing new for him. The skeleton takes off with the bowl, and then he's actually kind of on a mission right now. And he's just going to kind of start walking up the stairs. And then I'm not sure, like, if the other, if anybody wants to follow.
Beatum will follow along, just out of
like, Cordy, no hard pass. Okay.
Kind of kinship with Victor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Dariana would also follow.
Okay, she's kind of interested in what's going on. Mm-hmm. And Sylvester?
Yeah, he's gonna. I'm like filing my nails.
I love it. And Cutter?
Not following.
Nice. So kind of this beautiful blood sorcerer, or whatever she is. Victor, kind of looking ugly, but like big and bulky, and kind of looking like he's been traveling for a bit. And then little Beatum is kind of skipping like 2 steps at a time. They get to the top of the stair, and then were the doors, was there anything special about these doors, Ryan?
They're just big church doors. I mean, it's...
And you don't knock, or you just open them up?
Well, there are 2 blood sisters at the top of the stairs that would, allow the doors to open if you're given permission to enter.
Okay, so Victor is going to try to make him... Normally he's pretty big and imposing, and his head's back, but at this time he's going to kind of try to make himself look less imposing, I suppose, and request permission to enter temple. I would very much like to meet Leleshka of Chalice, if possible. I am Victor of Calder. And is it okay? And so I can just be them. So They don't let him in initially because this is a little sketchy, and he's a guy. So one of them, I guess, goes inside, and then they come back, whisper. All three, they say, you can come in if you bring other two with you. Would you guys like to come? Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So we head into this, and we notice, like, even on the inside, like, all the stone is blood red. And then I think is there the iconography, Ryan, where there's kind of lust on one side and kind of death on the other side?
Yeah, and you kind of get that throughout the entire thing. You know, when you go into the Temple of Apostolo, one of the early things you see is this corridor with these curtained rooms as you go down, and in each of those rooms, a blood sister is worshiping in their own way. So you hear the whipping as some are self-flagellating. You hear noises from the other aspect of Marina, as a blood sister might have a supplicant in there with her, doing supplicant things.
Yeah.
Worshipping in a slightly different way.
Yeah. Okay. So Victor comes up, and he has a second skull from his bag, and takes his hand, and he dips it in one of those pots of blood, and he kind of puts, like, his handprint on the skull, and he's going to get on his knees, and he's going to ask if he can present a gift to Laleshka. And they're looking at him like, what the hell? Like, who's this kind of redneck from the Ruthenian Plains showing up here speaking with a Creve accent? But I think everything kind of stops. Like, what kind of music plays there? Is there any kind of music going on, that kind of stuff, during, like, a pilgrimage?
I mean, if there's any music in the temple at all, it'd be something low coming from the sisters' rooms. It wouldn't.
So if it's pop, do you have any kind of low background music, if that's okay? And so Laleshka comes out, and she sees this tall, like, bumpkin kind of on his knees, holding this nasty skull with an idiotic handprint on it. And then she sees this gnome who's got this interesting hat, and I'm assuming there's not tons of gnomes of Niemheim that show up. And then Laleshka is, like, super interested in Dariana, because Dariana seems really powerful and seems in tune with blood. And Laleshka asks Dariana, what is he doing?
Honestly, I think he's making some kind of pilgrimage to you, but his ways are strange, and I'm not entirely certain.
Oh, what a simpleton. I find that quite charming. And you, little boy?
It is nice to meet you again, Priestess Laleshka. I am Beaton. We came through here previously. These are my new companions. It is good to see you in such...
So when you say that, she leans in. She's like, to see Beaton. Who are these two that you traveled with?
They can speak for themselves, Priestess. I am a gnome of few words. Ask them. Ask this silly Calder what he's doing too. Get up, Victor!
And so Victor stands up to his full height. And is Laleshka a typical Dhampir height? Or human height?
She's a little statuesque.
Like the same height as Victor, or?
No, not quite. I mean, you're pretty dang tall.
So Victor kind of stands up, and he says, Chernobog sends his blessing. I understand that in this temple you worship the goddess Marina, and that she has very similar interest in death as my black god. I was curious if I could meet with someone to share in exchange of magics. And so so she kind of laughs at him, and then she looks at Dariana, and she's like, is he serious?
Yes, I think he is. I mean, he laughs a lot, but I'm pretty sure he's serious in this instance.
And then Leleshka, I think she has a thing where she feels the need sometimes to seduce people. And especially if Morena kind of communicates through her. And then she kind of looks at Beedham and she asks him, Beedham, where's your friend, Lorinadrel?
Who?
I believe he went by Drea.
Oh. I am afraid to report that he is no longer among the living on this plane. Is there anyone else you're interested about? I'm sure Cordelia would love to see you again. She's somewhere about here.
She laughs. She says, "Oh no, Cordelia. She would be a waste of my time." And then
This fucking bitch! Oh my god! I know I'm not there. Sorry.
She looks at Dariana and says, "Can I interest you in one of our side rooms, Dariana?"
Oh,
That is your name.
yes. I think I'm going to just stay with my friends, actually, but I greatly appreciate the offer.
And so game respects game, and then she kind of looks at Victor, and she's kind of amused now because this guy is just in way over his head, even though he's so tall. And she says, "Victor, come with me." And he just says he looks back at Beedham, and he's like,
Yes.
and then he whispers to him,
Where
she dies
again.
And then he walks back with her, and they go into one of these side rooms. And
Beedham is furiously like shaking his head as they leave, and when they leave, he turns and grabs Dariana's hand and is like, "We must be out of here immediately. Let's go now."
And so Victor kind of gets brought back to her chamber, and Leleshka tries to seduce him, and he's obsessed right now with like this blood magic, and he just says, "I know that you are much more powerful than me, but my adopted father in the Caribbean told me once,
second life.
Women weaken legs. I cannot give my strength to you." She immediately screams for like two guards, and the guards grab him and they drag him to like one of these rooms where they're going to just whip the living shit out of him. And he lets him. Actually, he doesn't put up a fight. He saw like what he was getting into. And then as they grab him, he says one thing. He shows Leleshka his hands, and then he takes out this dagger that he's never taken out before. It's like a family heirloom, and he cuts across one palm, cuts across the other palm, puts it in there, and then he allows himself to get handcuffed to this, I guess, whatever they put the people to beat him, and he's going to try to survive this turning down Leleshka.
Okay. So I assume this is your roll moment.
I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. So why don't you go ahead and give me a Constitution check? I believe Cordelia gave you advantage.
Okay, and then I'm going to use the blessing as well. I think somebody sent us a blessing.
We got a number of blessings from the chat. Thank you so much. Cool. And so you don't have to use it till after, but yeah, so you get advantage on this. Are you going for 15 or 18 right now?
So I think he's not feeling as confident as Sylvester. Like Sylvester had his A game going.
Literally nobody ever could.
Yeah, and
history or future.
Victor at this point, like he understands like death, and he understands that it's more important that he survives rather than how he survives. And I'm not sure what you want me to roll.
Oh, Constitution.
Okay, just straight. So okay.
Yeah, just straight con. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I got it. Oh, that dice is cool. Oh, sweet. So 20, not natural.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so you, are beaten. Morena and Lileska, therefore, are not, or the goddesses of blood and lust. Lileska is generally, kind of more lust focused, but clearly now is going for blood. And she whips you within just an inch of your life. And then at that point tosses you out the front steps, the front gate of the Temple of Aprostala, and you roll down the steps to the bottom, unconscious on the ground.
Unconscious.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you survived by rolling a 20, but you are not doing well by any stretch of the imagination. You were definitely worshipped upon quite thoroughly.
Beatum was keeping an eye on the steps, waiting for something to happen, fearing that his friend would be killed. And when he sees the body tumbling out, he has like this moment of dread, and runs out to go check to see if his friend is dead. And when he finds him breathing, he begins trying to drag him off. Very unsuccessfully.
Is Victor, does he have his senses enough to like channel Chernobog and put a cure wounds on himself?
Yeah. I mean, you did roll pretty well. So as you get to the bottom, you start to come around, and as Beatum comes over, you can begin to wake up and be aware enough of yourself to kind of heal yourself enough to even be able to, stand up, kind of groggily, kind of, but able to move on.
And then he looks at Beatum and he says, Beatum, Laleshka not join many who try to kill Victor. I promise you this. I have done my penance for forsaking you. I know you know not what of I speak, but I promise you this. Before death come for you, I will be there. And that's it. And then he just kind of walks off. He kind of is putting the healing. He gets his horse. He kind of whispers to it. And then he hops on and just is on his way.
Perfect.
Beatum is so confused. It's just like, did he just say he's going to kill me?
Yeah, I'm going to look at Beatum and say, I thought I was mysterious.
I think he's sometimes just stupid.
And
all right,
goes off after him.
All right. So as you continue then on the road towards your next destination, we're going to go ahead and take a quick 5-minute break. We will be back shortly. I do just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat. I know Jay Miller dropped some blesses. I know Sirsa dropped some blesses on us early on. I know we got some banes. I think Andy passed
gave
out,
me some blesses,
which I don't understand. Andy, you're supposed to be the best mod, the worst mod. And then our own Andy Prime with the gift subs. So thank you all so much. We are going to head to break for just 5 minutes, and we will be back shortly. So
can I just say one thing? Like, as Victor walks past Sylvester, he throws Sylvester a pair of leather wrist restraints and winks at him.
There you go.
From the gift shop.
From the gift shop on the way out. Yeah. They're the cheaper ones. They're like pleather. All right, so we'll be back shortly. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Hello, and we're back. Thank you for sticking around, and any one new that came by. This is the Adventure Archive, and we are currently playing The Dark Kingdoms, our long-running, well, for us, long-running, for you, episode 3 of our evil campaign, The Dark Kingdom, set in Kobold Press's, I don't know why I did this, set in Kobold Press's Midgard setting. Currently, we are traveling from the Black Hills area in the Margrave up to the town of Kerriessen, where the party is trying to meet, find, encounter, kidnap. I don't know what they're going to do. The Archduke of the conquered kingdom of Krakova, the last imperial blood of that line that is being hunted down by Darakul, also by the party. So as we do this, we are doing this variation that we've done before in our home game. So this is the first time on stream, where we have the players assigned a certain area or city of the travel, and the players themselves actually narrate what happens to them in the party as they move from one location to the next. We have gone from Margrave to Bratislor with Sylvester. We have encountered Cordelia's family in Bratislor. On the road to and at the Temple of Aprostala, Victor of the Calder was thoroughly beaten for rejecting the advances of a high priestess of Marina. And we are now on the road from the Temple of Aprostala to Hanksburg, where all of this began with Cutter the Faceless, our Darakul rogue duelist. So as Victor pulls himself together, heals himself, still, bloodied from his recent encounter with Lyleshka of the Chalice. Cutter, what does the party do as they get to and then spend time in Hanksburg?
Oh, how good it feels to walk beneath the sunless sky. The road is dark. There is mist everywhere. I can't believe we have come this far. It is uneventful until we reach the gates, and I sense something is off. There are many more merchants about. Priests of Mammon, even, more than usual. And I feel it is the lack of Rodion's presence. It has caused grave things to befall this city. And as we make our way, my companions, they don't seem to notice what I notice, but I am not surprised. They head off to an inn to drown whatever it is they drown. Every fucking city we go to. And I go off on my own, slip off away. They pay little attention to me, about as much as their own shadow. And Sylvester reminded me of something. Reminded me of what I missed. The hunt. It is more beautiful than the feeding. And so I take to the streets, looking for something, for someone, and head to my the lower districts, full of whores and beggars and those who lives will not go missed. But they look at me differently. They look me in the eye, they don't look away. They even talk to me. Women tell me how they would be very lucky to have me, as do men, few children even. And then I know what it is. It's this fucking face. It doesn't taste right. It doesn't smell right. And I need to fix it. So as I leave the lower districts, I hear a commotion. It is in the market district. A flesh trade is begun. It is quite the haul. By the looks of them, they are from the north. They have furs about them, but there are many, far too many. Rodion would never let such a thing happen. They outnumber the guards and the merchants nearly 5 to 1. And as I approach, I notice they aren't even shackled. I get closer. I could pluck one away if I wished. They are too involved in their own, matters, let's say. And I noticed a boy. He's, in the corner of one of the cages, pushed to the back. And he looks up at me. He has eyes the color of ice. And I know one saying of the north. Gut sterben, I say to him. I don't really remember what it means, just that when my hunting parties would drag the Northmen down to the deaths, I would hear it shouted. And as the commotion increases, I realize I could make this thing all come undone. Maybe that would awaken Lucan, bring Rodion back. But I don't. I move on in search of flesh. But I don't get far. I notice there the commotion. It gets louder. It gets more aggravated. And I see, just as I turn around, the cages spill open, and these Northmen flood out, screaming, still wearing their furs, trampling the merchants, trampling the guards. There is the clash of steel, the gnashing of teeth, and they're coming right for me like a herd of wild beasts. So I slip down an alleyway, take to the rooftops because the birds have the right idea. And I watch them spill and diverge and converge again until I see a large one. He makes his way down a very narrow street. And he's walking quite strangely but quick. And my appetite is fierce this day. So I follow him slowly, carefully, but then the sound diminishes. The sounds of weapons clashing and shouting are very quiet now. So I know I must be silent. I drop down to the street, keep to the shadows and the mists, and follow this man.
And this is when I would roll a stealth or something, if you want.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you roll me stealth? But even though Victor passed his last one, he went for a 15 on an 18, if I remember correctly. So you do not have advantage on this.
Okay.
And Andy, you had the best mod ever. Blessed you during your
all right.
during
Well,
your
let's see
narrative.
how this
So
goes.
you are now at, I believe, 4 blesses? 4 blesses for Cutter.
Okay.
Are you doing
Awesome.
15 or 18, Jason?
What was that?
Are you doing 15 or 18 just before you roll?
I'll do 18.
Yay,
Okay.
get it.
All right, stealth, no advantage.
Oh my god, he has a plus
Oh,
12.
He has like a plus 12.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, you would need to roll like a 4 or less to get an average bless and still get it.
Exactly.
And you happen to roll a 14. So you're a thief in the night, a shadow of a shadow. You
Perfect.
are nay invisible.
Perfect. Okay.
I feel as though I am one with the shadows as I approach, and I slip 2 daggers from my sheaths because this is a big one after all. I'm going to have to get him from both ends. But little does he know, I know this road. it ends. And so I stalk him. Slowly, I don't need to hurry. And finally I see him, huddled in a small alcove in the stoop of a door that hasn't been opened for some time. And I approach him. He still does not see me. It's as if he's trying to push himself through. And I stand there waiting. I could stab him in the back, but I still wait. And he finally turns around. This great man. Well, he's not quite so great. I discover what was making his frame larger as a child. The same young boy I saw in the cage. But they don't look at me in fear. They ask for my help. They beg for my help. And I tell them I can help them. And the boy, he doesn't even look, doesn't even flinch as I drive my dagger through the throat of his father or whoever this man is. And he looks at me again, and I realize again this face I wear is androgynous as an angel. And so that is the last image I give him as I drive my other dagger into his throat. They drop to the ground, bleed out, and I let the steam rise as if it is their very souls. And I wait, not because I have pleasure in it, but because it makes the meat taste better. And I get really what I came for. The face of the Northman, the one that smells right, the one that tastes right. And I carefully free it from his body, tuck away the one of the she-male that I've worn for too long, and put it over my face.
And that is all.
Wow.
Whew.
I
Yeah.
do appreciate that your problem with Atticus's face is it's too pretty.
You got to keep that face though.
Well, what it did, I mean, honestly, what it
Could come in
was
handy.
is it was like he respects it as a work of art, but he's finally seeing the downside of it. Like to a degree, he does want to be
Yeah.
feared, right? And having this ladyman face, this perfect face, you know, is a little
It was
too
such
much.
a perfect face.
Yeah.
And Atticus was a very attractive man.
Oh my
Plus five.
god.
Plus
I
five
miss
for
him.
Is Atticus going to get his own emoji?
Atticus
Has
is
one.
the
He's the
tier
tier 3
3
Nice.
dead Atticus with a halo emoji emote. And Tongue Taker is basically each tier is another person who died. Tier 1 is Dre, tier 2 is Tongue Taker, and tier 3 is Atticus.
Nice.
So
He was so pretty.
if you want Cordelia's dead lover, whose face Cutter wore for quite some time, that'll be a
Magically
tier 3
preserved.
sub. So, all right. On that note, I assume after that, the party gets back together and you are leaving
Yep.
Hanksburg.
Yeah,
and
so
one
we
thing
stay the
you-
night and then take off the next day.
So, and through all that, you know, the rest of the party, as they're, I think I'm a little bit delayed in this. You know, you also come to the realization that Lord Rojan, who used to be your boss, still has not been heard from, and the whole time you're staying there, it's this kind of odd, kind of weird bustling through the city where he used to control, especially all wealth and things like that, now kind of starting to feel a little bit more like a normal city, not so controlled by him. But you head out. And
Quick question.
yes,
Because I know this city as well, and I kind of would have just been out like he says. We drink at every town. And he's right. But would we have heard anything about the Perennialian princess that was to be Rodion's bride?
So if you recall,
he was dispatched shortly after we delivered her to him. So
so she's super fucking dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I want. Okay.
Yeah, no, so you actually, if you recall, or Sylvester would recall, Hamish at the time, when Lucan showed up at Rodion's place the morning after you had delivered Dejana Severn of Perennalia to him.
Yes.
He had brought her out, and she looked a little bit of a 1,000-yard stare already.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah. And then Lucan came in very angry.
That's right. Okay.
Smashed Rodion across the room and ripped out Dejana's throat and cast her body aside.
Got it.
So yeah, so you witnessed her get super murdered.
Okay.
By the Lord of Vampires and King of Morgoth. Yep.
So I wouldn't have been listening for that. I would have just gone about my evening.
Yeah. So as you leave Hanksburg, you head out on the road towards the commander of Angerstall and Dariana Bloodright, our Serophage, blood sorceress. What happens to you and the party as you head out of Hanksburg?
So we make our way to Angerstall. And we find our way in, and by this time it's a little late. So we, as we do, head towards a tavern.
So Angerstall is literally just a Ghost Knight commandery. It's not a town.
Oh, this changes everything.
A small town has kind of popped up near the commandery to kind of to give the soldiers, just like when soldiers go to war, kind of small towns will basically travel with them and provide services. So if there is a commandery here, you could assume there's some place to drink nearby. So a small town has popped up, within a short distance of Angerstall.
What a crazy random happenstance.
Yeah.
How convenient for us. So maybe we're not quite in Ingerstall, but we're just outside in this cozy little town that Ghost Knights might frequent, because they're
Ingerstead.
close.
Yeah.
And we find our way to a tavern, and we secure our rooms, and the ones of us that like to go to the tavern and eat and drink and be merry do so, and the ones that like to brood alone in their rooms do so. And as we're kind of sitting there and it's pretty lively and people are talking amongst themselves, a mysterious hooded man approaches me, and I'm a little bit off to the side, so maybe others don't notice, but he kind of beckons me aside and introduces himself as Hammett, and he says he needs to speak with me. And I kind of am suspicious, but I kind of slip aside and ask him what he wants to talk about. And he mentions that he has a tip about Timbor and my book. But he mentions that it's not safe to talk here and that he needs my help with something first. It seems very suspicious and odd to me, and I'm very suspicious of him. And so I kind of sit there and think for a while, and realize that I really have no other leads as to where my book is or where Timbor is, and I'm getting nowhere fast, so I have to at least see where this goes. Also, as he's talking to me, he kind of quickly shows me a blood gemstone and then gives me a stern look as he walks out of the tavern. The rest of the party is kind of getting loose and not really noticing, so I slip out and steal away with Hammett. But being skeptical of interactions with strangers, I am on guard, especially when it has to do with my book. And I want to bring Brian, but he's cozy in his barrel in the room, so... And Hammett says that, like, time is of the essence, so I go with him, and we make our way to a graveyard. And he says that I have to help him with something before we can talk about what I need help with. And so I kind of cautiously agree. And he leads me to a crypt. Let me change my virtual background for effect. Yeah. Okay. So he leads me to a graveyard kind of in between, like, the commandery of Angerstell and this little town. It's like on the edge of town. And we make our way down the crypt. I follow him. Seems very shady, and I'm kind of like looking around, but I'm kind of used to shady, so I'm okay with it. And we come to a large stone sarcophagus. And the man starts pushing and gestures that I do so as well. And so I kind of join in, and we're pushing, but it's super heavy. It's stone. So I say, step aside. And I kind of put my hand up to my temples and cast telekinesis. And the lid kind of begins to shift and grind and move, but it's not lifting off. So I kind of narrow my eyes and concentrate harder. And the lid begins to kind of float up very slowly. And as my eyes are narrowed and I'm deep in concentration, the man begins to move towards me. But I'm not as swift as I normally am. And as he reaches out with magic sparking from his fingers, he stops abruptly as feather fletching appears in his neck. This breaks my focus and I fall to the ground. He also falls to the ground, blood pooling around him. And as I'm on the ground, I turn to see where the arrow came from. And a group of 4 men, what appears to be a night watch or patrol, stands at the top of the crypt stairs. And one looks a little better dressed than the others, but they appear to be some kind of watch, probably from the commandery. And as I lay there, I put a confused look on my face and I go, please, oh my God, he stole me. He bewitched me. I think he was going to kill me, which at this point, I kind of think he might have tried to kill me. And I thank them so much for helping me, and what can I do to repay you? And they look kind of suspicious. They kind of saw what was going on and aren't quite sure. And I think I'm going to have to either persuade them or something like that.
You can roll either deception and persuasion. It's up to you.
What was the second thing you said? He stole me. He what?
Bewitched me. I don't know. Enchanted.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, and I have advantage, right?
I do believe that Jason, with his plus 87 to stealth, did give you advantage going for the 18.
Solid. Okay.
And Sketch Risk, our wonderful artist, also just gave you a bless as well. So you are up to 4 blesses.
Wow. Okay. Well, I will use one if need be. How do I do advantage here?
I
It's
think you
shift.
shift. I think it's shift, yeah.
Okay. Let's do deception. Why not? Oh my god, no way.
I was literally just about to say next time I do this, it's going to be like 18 and 20, because no one ever
Bless it.
fails.
I am so
You can bless the
screwed.
shit out of that, and you still ain't getting to 18.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Do you
bless
have
it.
Do you have a blue card?
I don't think so.
I
I might have a green card.
So blessing won't get you to 15.
Yeah.
No.
It's okay. I have some sort of plan.
But I do think you do have an inspiration from the last dad joke. Let me check your tokens.
No.
You do have an inspiration if you want to, or you can just take the bad and see where this takes you narratively.
What would I could re-roll with an inspiration?
Yeah, but not with advantage. It would just be one additional roll.
Ooh.
Couldn't be any worse.
Yeah, I might as well try it.
Right,
You're gonna
so-
get inspiration like 10 minutes anyway.
Oh no. Okay, let's try this again. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, Jess
All
is
right.
here.
Okay, so I guess I convinced them, not very easily, that I was a prisoner and that I was captured by this guy and he was going to kill me. They introduced themselves as the Ghost Knights, and the one that's dressed a little nicer is Commander Belenius.
Oh, names, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I thank them very much, and I tell them that this man stole something from me, and would they mind if I looked through the body? And they say, go ahead. And so I kind of rifle through his things, and I grab the bloodstone, and I find a little journal, and I take that too. And the Ghost Knights are kind enough to help me up, and I make my way back to the tavern in my room with Brian, and I flip through the little journal and realize that this man is a wizard, and he was after my book, and he's been following me for a while, knew all about my family, and kind of just wanted to get me out of the way so he could deal with Timor himself. And yeah, that's it.
Dang,
Very
that's how
nice.
you take control of the narrative. Like,
There you go. For those who weren't there, which is everyone but us, because it happened pre-stream, apparently Dariana has some special book to her. And at one point, the kind of court's wizard of Hanksburg, where they originally were all kind of working for Rodion, stole it from her after trying to barter for it, and then casting Time Stop and taking it from her. And she has since been looking for it. So, ooh, lots of Dariana emotes in the chat. As you get back to the group and, everything continues forward, the party wraps up the next morning their revelry, whatever that might be for each of them. The party makes their way to, or heads out on the road towards Gaibik. And Beatum Davelbreen, what happens to the party on the road to and at the city of Gaibik?
On the way to the city of Gaibek, it is a misty afternoon. The party clops along on their horses, looking forward to an actual city to stay at with an actual bar and an actual inn. And it seems that Beatum knows a little bit about the city and is telling you stories about his favorite place to stay in the city of libraries and books. His favorite place to stay is a very cozy, ironically named inn called the Nook. It's just the perfect place to do research. As he's waxing lyrical about the scones they make there are delicious, he suddenly grabs his chest and begins coughing. It looks like he can't breathe. A moment he starts to turn blue, and in the next moment he topples from the top of his pony, slams straight into the mud, and everyone kind of comes to a stop. Victor, his friend, comes rushing over to him and realizes that Beatum is unconscious and is struggling to breathe. Something magical is happening to him. A disease or perhaps some kind of withdrawal from a magical drug is restricting his lungs, and he is unable to get any air. Not knowing what to do, and with magic not solving any of the problems, you put him back up on his pony and rush into Gaibik as quickly as you can. None of you know the city. Maybe Sylvester knows the city a bit, but as you get to the gates and cross the main bridge, you settle on, we're going to go to this place, the Nook, that Beatum was talking about. You make your way down this city, and even this long after the invasion, you can still smell the ash blowing through the streets from the burned libraries as the Krakoven armies and people sought to escape the armies of Morgau. You get into the Nook and check in, and a lovely, plump woman named Evica. She invites you in and sees that you have a unconscious gnome and quickly gets you to the room, asks you if you need some medical attention. You finally get him into the room, and you start rifling through his things, and you find he is completely out of Requiem. And now that you think of it, you haven't smelled him smoking Requiem in a little while. It seems he's been out and is going through withdrawals. He begins to foam at the mouth. And you look around for, you're going to need to find him some drugs. Cutter can't give a crap, and he goes down to the main room, and that's when he notices another strange individual sitting in the lobby of the Nook. A slender trollkin who seems to be making eye contact with you. You look down and you see his hand. He's giving you a symbol. The kind of thieves' cant for you better come talk to me, and it's important. He eyes a corner booth down in like the breakfast area and walks over, expecting you to follow. What do you do?
I cautiously follow.
He sits down in the booth. Anyone else down there with him wanna join in on this? Everybody else is up in the room.
Yeah, Victor's trying to do the medical stuff.
Okay.
If Cutter would let me, I would go, but I don't think Cutter would let me.
That's
I haven't stopped you.
okay. This trollkin sits there kind of, he's like flipping a coin between his fingers as you sit down.
I prefer to stand, thank you.
Suit yourself.
You recognize something about him. You've seen his ilk before. He is something called a rat catcher. Specifically, he's counterintelligence that works for Morgau, hunting Krakovan intelligence officers called mice. I saw you had a little package that you brought in with you. Is that Beetle? He didn't look like he was conscious.
What concern is it of yours?
Well, you see, I need a little information, and I know that Beetle can access some of this information. I also know that Beetle has pissed off so many people that live in the city. And if you and Beetle don't help me, I'm going to tell those people. And then the Gibbik Thieves Guild and every other thug that hates that little demon will hunt you through the streets. You won't get any rest. You'll have to leave immediately. And then you're not faster than 100 jackanapes, are you?
Big talk for a man by himself.
You thought I'd come here by myself. I just came in alone to show you that I didn't mean you any immediate threat. But trust me, there are 12 knives within yelling distance that would just love to come in and kill you and all of your friends. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to threaten. It's just in my nature sometimes. You see, I'm a bit of a strong arm or an enforcer. I'm not usually the one who does the talking. So, care to do a little work while you're here in Gibbik? Or would you rather be hunted through the streets by the Thieves Guild?
Trust me, I'm hunted by worse than whatever you have.
Oh, come on. It's really no skin off yours and your friend's back. Just bring them all down. There, on the corner of the street, there's an abandoned shop. Underneath the shop...
I've heard this one before. Try again.
Under the shop, I have a asset. And I need the asset to tell me something. But I can't make them talk. Come down.
What about you and your dozen knives?
Knives aren't very good at getting this kind of information out. It requires a little bit different of a touch. Bring Beetle. Bring your friends. I'm sure you can fight 12 of us easily enough. Come expecting an ambush. I promise. Just help us out for half an hour and we can leave as friends. And no one in the city will bother you at all while you stay here. You will enjoy your time, I swear. I hope to see you within a half an hour. And he gets up, pops his knuckles, and walks out.
Okay, and this guy you said was again a mouse?
A rat catcher.
A rat catcher. Okay.
Yeah, Morgau intelligence.
Okay.
Oh, so
All right,
ostensibly, he would technically work for Lucan, and you technically work for Lucan, so he's more of an ally than an enemy at this point.
But he's
Yeah.
threatening
Well,
you too,
he did
because
threaten.
he's using
He did
coercion.
threaten me too.
You've never threatened anyone, though, so that's
Okay, I'm going to head up to the room where Beatum is.
And you see Victor kind of over him, and he's just trying to keep him like from not leaving this world. Oxygen.
He's foaming a little bit, and he comes in and out of consciousness, and like looks around and like tries to like reach in his bag or whatever, and then like passes out again.
Victor, what happened to the little baby?
And
Someone seeks his audience.
Victor turns around and says, Kotar, we cannot keep him here. None of Chernobog's blessings are bringing him back. Oh, do you have answer?
Answer for what?
For find Beatum Requiem, clearly.
I'm not in the business of drugs, but I only have 30 minutes.
You do think, out of anybody who'd know where to get some, probably some intelligence officers might know.
Okay. Where's everybody else?
They're all up in the room.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's in the same room?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to explain the situation. So basically, everything I heard, you heard.
And Victor scoops up Beatum and is like, it sounds to me like time is disappearing. Perhaps we need to get going, yes?
Sounds to me like a big old trap.
I did tell him I heard that one before. Even though he did threaten me, I feel that no harm will befall us.
Cordelia feels so little inclination to put any trust in this.
Point the way, Cutter. I will do this myself if I have to. And he asks for directions.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Victor and lead him.
You
Okay.
have to bring Beatum.
Anyone
or you
else?
can beat him here.
Yeah, I mean, Victor's holding him like a sick baby.
I'm going as well.
I'm gonna go. If you're
I'm
taking
like,
Beatum with you, I'll go.
Fine, let's go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Beatum has shown me kindness once, and I guess it would kind of suck if you didn't.
Beatum and I share a hate for Timbor, so I'll go.
So you all make your way down to this corner, abandoned corner store, and as you approach it, the door actually opens, and what looks like some guy in like a black setup. You can see he's got a hand crossbow kind of tucked underneath his jack. Kind of gives you a come this way, and you all walk in. And you see that there's like 4 or 5. There's somebody in the back, and there's 4 guys in the front, and they look to be guarding the place. This is some kind of operations house, and they nod towards the stairs, and you make your way down. They don't seem too threatening. They kind of seem like they're in the same business as you. And you go downstairs into the cellar, and there is the trollkin from earlier, sitting on a chair, and in front of him are 2 bodies laying on the floor. They look like they've been pressed for information a little too hard and have expired. The trollkin's like, I'm glad you decided to come work with us. We don't particularly care for the thieves here in Gibbik, but you gotta work with what you can, right? So, as you can see, we killed this one, and we need a bit of information. We need to know where he hid his dossier on an Illan Thack. But we aren't possessing any ways of talking to a spirit once it leaves the body. We were hoping Beatum could do that. Is he okay?
And I'm assuming Trollkin's pretty tall also, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So just eye to eye, like Victor is not fucking around. Like he's got his shoulders back, his chin is up. And he's like, you see Beatum is right here. You have Requiem? Now.
He's having withdrawals, huh? He nods to one of his friends, and they go immediately up the stairs. Oh, we can't talk to the dead without him.
Is he given like a sign that he wants Victor to follow those guys?
No, they're going off to get something. Victor, you can talk with the dead.
I can.
You can.
So here's what's interesting, Andy. I prepare different spells all the time, and we can retcon it if Ryan will allow it, but I do not have to speak with dead prepared. Ryan's muted. Ryan's muted. Like, I'm not gonna fib.
I've got
fib all fucking day, brah.
Yeah.
It's a narrative.
Okay.
You've had like weeks at this point to do different spells and stuff. Today happened to be a day you're like, fuck it. Speak with dead sounds really good today.
Sounds beautiful. So is there a so if there's a table there, the more armored arm of Victor just fucking wipes every bit off the table, kind of sets Victor gently there.
I kind of try and pause. Victor, shouldn't we wait for them to get us the drugs?
I believe they want us to talk to these, and he kind of steps on one of the bodies.
Yes.
And Sylvester can do this too, right? Like Victor's seen him speak to the dead as well.
I can cast Speak with Dead.
And there's two bodies.
There's two bodies.
So I will take this one, Sylvester. You will take that one, yes?
All right.
Okay, so there's a man and a woman. Which one are each one of you talking to?
I mean, I feel like Sylvester has to go with the woman. Smooth.
Yeah.
Sylvester starts to talk with the woman and finds out quickly that she wasn't an operative or anything. No amount of coercing or pressing this woman beyond the grave. The other one, though, you find out pretty quickly that he can't even hide in death from you, Victor, that he was indeed a mouse. And he was entrusted with some information. But you have to do a little creative convincing to get what they want to know is where this dossier is. Yeah. The dossier he wasn't trusted with. The man's name is Vec, and he asks you to make him a promise. He asks you to promise that you will track down and kill an individual by the name Meeker. It's his code name, Meeker. If you promise to do that, he will tell you where this dossier is hidden.
And I'm speaking to Veek from Beyond the Grave right now, right? Like, yes. I'm speaking to his spirit. Okay. So Veek, I do not know if this is a joke on my name, Victor, but I hear you. You say, I do not understand this code name thing. It sounds like a bunch of girly play. But if you want me to kill him, I love killing things. Where will I find Meeker?
That's the hard part. I do not know where he is now. You must track him down and kill him.
Vic, I do not know if you see me, but I am no tracker, my friend. I bring death. I bless people, sometimes heal them. I do not track.
Do you want the information or not?
Of course, my friend. I promise I will do my best. You see that man over there? And he can barely see Cutter because he's just blending into the wall in the corner in the shadows. He goes, I bet he's one of the best trackers in Morgal.
Promise.
I swear on Chernobog.
Then you shall have the information, or I shall haunt you for the rest of time.
I do not think you could haunt me more than Lileshka, but good luck, my friend.
The information you seek, this dossier, it is inscribed on the back of the woman who lays before you at your feet.
You've got to be shitting me. Sylvester, you will not believe this, my friend. And he pulls out...
Not even waiting, the trollkin like goes over and tears off the woman's
he can hear it.
shirt. Oh yeah, he can hear it too. And on her back is inscribed in like these cuts a diagram, and everybody kind of looks at it for a moment, and nobody can identify what it is, except for Dariana. It's a bloodlock. In order to unlock it, you have to trace, it's a maze basically, that you have to use blood to navigate through. And in order to do so, you're going to have to make an Arcana check to open it.
Me?
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
no one else can do it but you, unless you don't want to.
No, I will. I will do it.
And I don't care what anyone else wants to do. Ryan, I would like this to be a 20. I haven't seen the roll yet. I have not seen the roll yet. Oh,
What?
I am rolling so low today.
It's important though, right?
A fizzle of magical energy fills the entire room.
Brian's wiggling.
Yeah, I see him.
I
Mute.
think he's muted though.
Mute.
Fuck.
I know Portent sees the future, but you are super unconscious, right?
He's super unconscious.
Can I help her?
And are you trying to use your Portent right now?
I am not.
Because I thought you said you want to make it at 20.
No, I said
Oh.
I want the difficulty for it to be a 20.
Gotcha. So you super fail.
Super duper fail.
You already have a red card. Good luck. Good for you.
I would have 2 more tonight.
Yeah. I got to start using those against you guys so I can give you some new ones. So completely incapable of accomplishing this task.
Not only that, but it was warded against failure.
Oh, cool.
And begins to spark with magical energy, and the entire room explodes. This should be probably like a war. What is the glyph that explodes when you read it? Huh?
Yeah. It's a glyph of warding.
A glyph of warding, and it immediately explodes, and everyone is just covered in this bomb site. It blows actually the floor above you open, and a couple of these operatives come like crashing down. Immediately everybody kind of like springs into action, trying to get out of there. One of the operatives pulls swords and goes at Cordelia, but he's so disoriented that you easily put him down. Everybody decides it's probably a good idea to get out of here, and they disappear into the night, not even bothering to stay in Gibbik. They gather up their stuff from the nook and begin to run.
we've left Gibbik now pissing off the rat catchers, making new enemies. Beatum is still out and having massive withdrawals, potentially fatal withdrawals from Requiem, and probably the rat catchers are gonna tell the Thieves Guild about you guys too. So
You guys.
multiple new enemies. Beatum is dying, and you guys didn't get a good night rest either.
So as you flee Gibbik, Beatum, Bjorn with Victor, new enemies at your back, old enemies at your front. That's where we'll end our session for this evening.
Yay!
I like how Andy kills himself.
Yeah, Andy.
I know.
Andy's like, you guys.
He's already rolled it. He's like, fuck it, I just want a new character.
I'm over it.
Who's that?
Man, I just made the lens, damn it.
We just got everything working right for the first time for everybody. All right. So thank you all so much for, I guess, giving me a break for the evening to an extent. So you have all made your way from, the Black Hills of Margrave, where the Shadow Forest was, all the way fleeing Gibbik towards Carriessen and House Cavanto to find the Archduke and hopefully save your companion from his magical DTs. So yeah. So I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who contributed to the stream tonight. Jay Miller, Circe Victory, Jables, Andy.
Oh, Jesse actually just gifted a bunch of subs. Thank you, Jesse.
Oh,
Thank
you so
you.
much, Jesse.
Yeah, and it just popped up on the screen too, so it's working.
Yeah, there it goes. We should make that bigger, but I actually extended I still don't hear any sound. But you know what? We won't hear it. Only Jason will hear it. So, but thank you so much. Big shout out tonight to Andy, our wonderful mod, the best mod. The overlay we have on our screen, that stream that we got working from the beginning, he took that over for us today. So all of the blesses and banes and stuff, he's able to update live so that I can still focus on the game. Not have that. So thank you so much for doing that. If you don't know, can we get a shout out Andy command in the chat? It's just SO Andy. Andy the Mathematician runs, he has his own channel where he does DM prep for Rhyme the Frost Maiden. He also runs Rhyme the Frost Maiden over on the Gilded Troll. Could we also get a shout out TGT for the Gilded Troll?
Thank God it's not that many letters.
Yeah. The Gilded Troll is a wonderful group that we have all come to know and love, who runs Odyssey of the Dragon Lords, Strahd. Andy runs Rhyme the Frost Maiden with Jesse who's in chat, Amber, Bayless, Jordan, all these just fantastic.
Not in Rhyme?
No, but he's on TGT.
Oh, okay.
He's in the Strahd game. But everyone over there at the Gilded Troll, they're wonderful, awesome people. So please follow Andy the Mathematician and the Gilded Troll. They're all wonderful, fantastic people that have really brought us and our channel into their community. So we really appreciate it. Also, Circe Victory, who is our channel sugar daddy at this point. Sketch Risk, our fantastic
Sketch
artist who did all of our character art. Sam here. It's just shout out to Sam.
I'm writing that for me.
All of our emotes. I hope you're putting all these commands in.
I for sure am. Yeah.
Okay. Also, Jason is doing his, I'd never know how to pronounce this, NaNoWriMo on his channel. So if you want to do a shout out, Jason.
So good.
Yeah. So thank you for all of that. I think I created a new command that just has our link tree in it for all of our socials. So join our Discord, please. Join our community, help us expand and grow that. Check out all of our VODs on YouTube, usually out by the next day. I made a list here. Drop the socials. Oh, we do have a merch store. So soon I will definitely be wearing some of our merch. But you can find that panel down below in our About section. What else do I have? Shout out Jason, shout out Sam, shout out Circe, shout out Sketchres. Drop the socials, drop the merch store. Check out our other streams. On Friday, I will be running a session called, it's just another DM chat, but it will be running an evil campaign. We've talked about that a little bit in some of the sessions. We did it in our recap. I talked about it a little bit on one of my other DM chats, but this one is going to be much more focused specifically on that. So I have like a list of the ways that I have found help evil campaigns run really successfully. Especially, I mean, we've been running, I know only 3 times on chat or on stream for this, but this is our 33rd session. We've been running this evil campaign for over a year, and it's been my favorite campaign I've ever run. So I've learned a lot on how to run evil campaigns. So please stop by. Any of the players that want to stop by,
I'm gonna ask, are we allowed to be there?
absolutely,
Okay.
because you know,
Oh,
I would
I'll
love
be
to.
there.
Yeah, I would love
Yeah.
to talk while we do that. Maybe I'll bring some of you guys into Zoom, and we can just talk for a couple minutes about perspectives on some of the things. Get some questions from anyone who wants to ask about DMing or playing in an evil campaign. Hopefully you guys felt a little bit of the evil tonight, because fuck, you guys are messed up and it's beautiful and I love it. I'll be here for Friday for that. Every other Wednesday we'll be doing Dark Kingdoms. Every Wednesday opposite from that we do Mists of Midgard with Jason, Jess, and Sam and Doug, our other player as well over in that. And I think I did make an outro checklist. I think I hit all of them.
Community challenge.
Oh, I'll add that to the list. Yes, we did start a community challenge. We've updated our channel points to make some of them a little bit better. You can now cast False Life at 2nd level, so it's a little bit more impactful when you do that. It's 1d4 plus 9 instead of 1d4 plus 4. And we have done a community challenge. We've initiated the first one. It's 100,000 points. And when we do that, we will all, not me, I'll still be me, but everyone else will swap characters. And not just like they'll actually be those characters. So if Sam gets Cutter, she will actually be Cutter for a one-shot that we're going to
Can I
run.
get dibs,
With the
please?
voice modulator.
God,
I
I
feel
With
hope
like
the
I
voice
earned
mod
this.
and everything. Thank you so much for the contribution.
I have to be
Jiggles.
Cordelia then.
We will see. I will decide how we're going to run it. There are 6
Cordelia,
players.
Could you please stop talking?
Yeah.
See, I can already do
Oh
it.
my-
There are 6 players.
My mother, she's just like me. You would never know the difference. And we have this fantastic
I don't have
little,
a family.
this little dinner. And
Never cool. I've never cared about family or any such thing, and you're dumb for liking your family.
You talk
Yeah.
too much.
oh, beat 'em. Let's get together and have a tea party, and then perhaps we'll talk about our little theatrical escapades on the road, and maybe we'll find a wagon that the side comes out of. And
I hate
great.
everyone's ideas.
I
Mine are all
loved
better.
that
I
wagon.
hope
You guys
nothing
need to
is
stop
fun
making
because
fun of
you're
that stuff.
dumb
It was
for
a
liking
brilliant
it.
idea.
Lost wagons, lost ponies. Yeah. So this will
So
be
that's a
fun,
preview of what
obviously.
you
Just keep taking things away from
there's
me,
a sneak
Ryan.
peek right there. Sneak
Yeah.
peek.
So this is going to be a good. This is going to be a fun little one shot. So
I think it's
contribute
gonna be
to that.
really cathartic for me and Jason to just kind of
Yeah.
get all this out
To
there.
just like get all of that tension out from between your characters. Really understand each other afterwards. Get a tighter bond from really feeling it.
or just hate Cutter even more somehow.
Yeah. So contribute to that. Once we reach a community goal, I will have a very interesting, very different one shot to run with everybody. Kind of, I don't want to say Freaky Friday because they knew who they were in the other bodies. So this is just a straight body swap. But yeah, so that'll be fun. Also, let's raid. I have that on the list. Does anybody have? I know we raided
T-Pain.
Slipstream before, but he's not playing D&D. Bob Ross is on. I'm not gonna raid T-Pain.
I'm gonna go watch him after this. So.
That's fine. Does anybody have any suggestions?
I love Coffee Quills.
Yeah,
She's so
Coffee
cool.
Quills. Yeah.
I love her.
Coffee Quills.
She's
Yep.
probably doing Nano.
Do
yeah,
I-
she's doing Nano right now.
Do I follow?
She's doing For the Words. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Nana.
Okay. So we are going to just go to our exit thing so we can run the credits for all the wonderful people that supported us. So please stay in chat. Like I said, stop by Friday, stop by every Wednesday. I whenever I can, especially now that I'm back to work, it'll be a little bit more sporadic, but I do like to do DM preps and DM chats and stuff. So those are generally to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, one or the other. So stop by to check out all of that. We may have a new, at least one shot starting soon that is also in the more evil vein. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll let you know as that goes. But please stick around. We're gonna raid Coffee Quills, and thank you so much. Stop by Friday, stop by next Wednesday, and have a good evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.